As long as you're not a woman, you're probably fine at Activision.
Yo. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. Has the sexism gotten to you?
The sexism has gotten to me. That's all my allyship leaving my All right, let's start with this. Is this the only video?
Yes.
Okay. And this is official Shrek. We know this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Shrek himself.
AI generated.
I want him to be my friend on Facebook.
Right.
I'm friends with Shrek on Facebook, dog.
That would be a flex.
Talking about AI generated promo stuff, that's one of the topics I wanted to talk about this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Activision Blizzard got caught.
Oh
yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And in
James Cameron's new Avatar is going to come out with a thing that says no AI was going to be used in making of this video on just like as part of the boilerplate.
Are you serious?
Yeah, on the new Avatar.
Nice. Okay.
Which honestly though, it's probably just because he started before AI was like
yeah, like that's just been is it still Avatar 2 or is Avatar 2 already a thing?
It's the third.
Okay, we're on Avatar 2.
Yeah, we got wet, now we're getting hot.
Yeah, it's like fire and ash or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I just know that he paid. I don't think it's going to do very well, but he paid for everything up front, so it's coming out.
Didn't they pay for like 6 of them bitches up front or some shit?
It was like
know.
9.
9?
Yeah, they had like 9.
They have like a lot of those like
What
already like set and ready to go.
He funded it too. Well, at least I don't know about the other ones, but he funded those first. Like it wasn't like, you know, he did run a fund. He got investors. He's like, no, I like this so much. We're making 3 of them because I want to.
Hey, I mean,
first, you can, man, go for it.
His first one made more than enough profit to garner making more.
Right.
So I mean, that shit it has been number 1 on like the charts for a decade almost.
That movie was really okay.
I've never seen any of the Avatars, so
I mean, it's been number 1. But I mean, I can't say I don't know why, but like for the time it was cool.
Everybody was so excited about the effects, and
then no one remembered anything about the fucking movie itself.
Did you see it like in IMAX 3D?
I think
that was kind of like, I feel like that it was specifically made.
It was one of the first ones that was shot specifically for
IMAX 3D.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I saw it in IMAX 3D, and that was like incredible.
It was like mind blowing.
Like just the visuals alone were enough to go see the movie.
Mm-hmm. I think we saw the second one in IMAX 3D.
Did we?
Yeah,
I think we did, didn't we?
Yeah,
yeah. That was pretty cool.
What the fuck is this?
What?
You know, just a long time ago when before times.
Just a little sneak it in a little bit.
I don't give a damn.
Look, sometimes we want our private time alone, okay?
Fair enough.
No, I think we
went with little old me sitting over here in the corner all
I think Cheyenne invited us.
Yeah,
it was
just little old me, just wishing I had other friends to hang out with.
Yeah, how does that feel like?
It fucking sucks.
We'll make sure you get the next invite.
No, don't bother.
I know y'all don't give a fuck.
It's all about the courtesy ask.
It's the courtesy ask. It's nice to feel wanted, but I don't want to be a part.
Fair enough.
Thanks, Rescue. I actually have no interest in this.
And I never will, but I want you to keep asking.
I just want to feel wanted.
I just want to feel wanted. That's all. Is it so bad to crave human interaction but not actually want it?
It's so bad to crave human interaction, but to be too cowardly to ever engage in it.
Oh, man. Okay.
Speaking of movies, are we going to go see
Movie
Minecraft
D's nuts?
I think we have taken the hard line stance of we're not giving them money.
That's what I don't want to give them money.
I don't want to give them money
either.
I remember hearing another thing about that recently that was like, that's the it's not so. It's I really don't want to give the money now, and I forget what it was. You probably.
For me, it was,
I haven't been
it?
watching much Minecraft lately because I've been so much listening to audiobooks.
There also hasn't been a lot of Minecraft. Well, from the sources I usually go to.
Yeah.
for me, it
They
was
did something. Oh
When the
yeah, Warner
music.
Bros. Huh?
the music.
Yeah,
There was the
that.
music thing. I
Warner
thought-
Bros.
Oh,
was
that's
like hitting a
right.
ton of, and they're basically going, oh, that was a oopsies.
Oh, are they backing off? On
They're backing off on a lot of it.
Uh-huh.
But
They're
it's
also
like,
claiming
yeah.
trailer reviews. They're just claiming everything.
Oh, guys, the copyright bot just kind of went a little rogue, man. This
Like,
Oh,
Copyright
I guess
bot.
I can't buy a ticket to your crappy
movie,
movie.
and they were like, hey, I still don't want to give money to it anyway, so we'll probably just pirate it.
I just have bad vibes about the whole thing too. Just it doesn't look like it's gonna be
It
good.
just doesn't look like it's. I think we've said this a few times. I think it's just gonna be the same pumped out thing for blockbuster purposes that is gonna be, according to all the critics, the next best thing, and is gonna be the greatest thing on earth and the hottest movie of 2025. And no one who actually goes to go see it is gonna come out with that perception. Well, we could be wrong. Who knows? We'll see. But speaking of other movies,
Come on, why Shrek?
Yeah.
Hey, Magic Mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Why, Shrek, of course. Ah!
Ew, Dad.
Ooh, Mommy like.
Who's making this stuff?
Whoa! Shrek 5, starring Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, and Zendaya? Oh, damn. Only in theaters, Christmas 2026. Hey, Magic Mirror, who's the fairest of them all?
change?
Why, Shrek, of course. Ah!
Ew, Dad.
Ooh, Mommy like.
Who's making this stuff?
Whoa! Shrek 5, starring Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy,
one more time.
Cameron Diaz,
One more
Uno
time.
and Zendaya? Oh, damn.
Give it 3
Only
extra
in
views.
theaters,
Great.
Christmas 2026. Hey, Magic Mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Why, Shrek, of course. Ah!
Ew, Dad.
Ooh, Mommy like.
Who's making this stuff?
Whoa! Shrek 5, starring Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, and Zendaya? Oh, damn. Only in theaters.
Did you just say, oh,
Christmas
damn?
2026.
Yeah.
Hey, Magic Mirror.
Zendaya? Well, that's just crazy.
In a kid movie?
Can you believe we got her?
Can you believe that?
Not in my Christian Minecraft server.
Right. All right, that was certainly a
A thing?
cast announcement. Yeah.
So,
Did all the other children die?
valid question.
How
And
far in the future is this supposed to be set?
I mean, so that's one of the kids, and in Shrek, the fourth one, or was it the third one? When the kids
third
were
one.
a thing. Yeah.
Or when they had the kids the first time.
So like, it looks like she's a teenager. I can only assume. So imagine maybe like 14. Got to be like 14, 13. I don't know.
I would
Anywhere
assume older
between.
than that. I'm assuming she's somewhere in like the 16 to 18 range.
I thought.
Did they just lose all the old models? I'm confused.
I think we'll find out.
I don't think I've ever seen past the second movie. Didn't they have like a boatload of kids? Or
Yeah, they
something?
had like three
They
or
had
four.
three
had
children. People were talking online because I think she specifically had very specifically had blue eyes.
Yes.
They only had one daughter.
Yeah, people were trying to explain it away. Are like, oh, well, sometimes people are born with blue and then they turn to brown.
It's true.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess.
No, it's
but,
just an oversight. It's just not
I
a
think
well
it's
managed art
just an
department.
oversight.
But yeah, that's what I think too. Like, or they just said fuck it. Like,
Also, probably doesn't matter that much.
but I don't know.
Well, it's probably they're trying to match the actors.
That's what
Features.
my thought
That
was.
could be too. But there is obviously
Look
a
at a
lot
picture
of
of Mike Myers. Look at a picture of Mike Myers.
Mike Myers looks nothing like that. I hope they're not trying to call it.
I thought it was grayer than that.
You thought he was greater than that?
Yeah.
I have no idea how old.
That
Mike
bitch is
Myers
white.
He's very white.
And his hair.
Yeah, why isn't he green?
Where's his knife?
Great question. What are we going down here? Why did I look up Mike Myers?
To see if he probably looked like Shrek, I guess.
Motherfucker. Why did it take me so long to figure out what you were doing?
I'm lost and confused. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
What about him?
No.
No, I know. There's also the movie monster, Michael Myers.
He was making jokes about...
Oh, that knife joke. Okay, I just jumped past that. I heard it and was like, yes, Michael
Yeah,
Myers.
when he said, why is he that way? I thought he was talking about his hair. And then...
This episode is off to a great start. This episode is off
Things
to
are
a
going fantastic,
start.
guys.
Oh my fucking goodness.
Or
Yeah. It sounds like you have more things to say about Shrek.
yeah, just obviously you could tell that there's a little shift in art style that people are, they have comments about.
Right.
And everybody's slamming it. I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people are slamming it because of a slight difference in art style. There was some Twitter user that took a screenshot and kind of like morphed it into the old Shrek style and did a side-by-side type thing here. And it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
I don't think that's that crazy of a change.
I don't think it's that crazy of
Someone
a
on here
change
goes,
either.
whatever happened to that Sonic show, people doing it here because what the hell is this style?
It's not that bad,
It's just
y'all.
an updated style.
It's
dog.
just a
Calm
little
down.
different.
Hot take. I don't care for it.
The style or the movie announcement itself?
Not the style, but they took it and they decided to change it. But I feel like it's in the uncanny valley, right? Where it's just different enough where you're like, that's not Shrek.
Yeah, this is like slightly not
it's-
Shrek.
It looks like Mr. Incredible's eyes on Shrek.
You know, it kind of does.
You basing off this picture or the... Yeah.
Just the animation, too. Something
Okay.
about the way the eyes move and...
Yeah. I see
like
what you
right
mean.
there.
I think it's very well animated. I think it's probably going to be... I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's definitely probably using some facial tech that they did not have by the fourth one.
Yeah. I think Shrek is an interesting case study because in its nature, right, it is an uncanny valley art style originally, right?
I don't think I agree with that, but continue.
Maybe sort of, but like the older graphics, like
Yeah.
were less realistic, so it kind of takes it out of Uncanny Valley.
I don't know. It's got so many different. The original, the first Shrek, the original Shrek had so many different things going on with it. It had like those, fantastical characters. It had humans in there, like
The humans were the least good looking part of that.
right, and like just having Shrek standing next to the humans, standing next to Donkey, standing next to Pinocchio. It's just all interesting style stuff
Get what
going
you're saying.
on.
Those humans were a little whack. I thought the style was relatively cohesive though, because
So
it
did I.
was all a little weird.
I think it was the best in Shrek 2. I think Shrek 2, they figured out a style of humans that fit very well next to Shrek and all the other shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I say that not to say that it was bad at all. They made it work, and with the tone, the different color grading that they did, it worked, right? And I think right here...
That's my fucking favorite.
It's just hot Shrek.
This is hot Shrek twerking above the city.
Yeah. Like, I think right...
Oh, that...
Oh, they're both hot Shreks.
I thought you were talking the buff where they scream
No,
at.
I wanted to. They should have screamed at the
That's what you would think, right?
fucking Bizarro shit. Not Shrek just like, I got muscles.
But I don't know. I guess I'm interested to see what every other character looks like, I
Right.
guess. Because, again, you can easily kind of tell when Shrek stands next to all these other different characters. But here we see, 3 ogres, the donkey, and the wooden boy.
Oh, Pinocchio.
Yeah, so it's like,
There's something about this lighting style.
they have it specifically lit for this.
It's like something
Very
small.
bright.
Unreal Engine 4.
It does feel like that a little bit.
You know what it feels like? It feels like those mobile games where
Oh shit, you're so right. It feels like Clash of Clans.
Yeah. Clash of Clans, the fucking mansion cleanup game or whatever the fuck. It feels like that.
The like airbrushed frontlet painted on lighting.
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
It's what it is. It does feel really weird. And I can't.
Well, it makes it look like toy.
It does. It gives it like a really toy-like quality to it.
Which I think again is somewhat different if you're sitting at
Where
next
are
to the
the other
first
children?
It's
Well,
that
they're
question.
not boys by Zendaya, so they're not important.
And then someone else was like, if the
Tom
ogres
Holland.
grew up, then that means
That would be hilarious. That would be really funny. They got Tom Holland to voice both the boys, both the twin boys, are just voiced by Tom Holland.
But no, some people were like, if she grew up, then that means the half donkey, half dragon hybrid also grew up. So what do they look like?
Right.
So
In fairness, this is just a cast announcement. So you have to accept that this is not an official trailer.
it's a teaser.
It's a teaser. But I do want to see what they all look like now. Because, like, were they still babies in Shrek 4? Has any of us seen Shrek 4?
Yes, I don't think they were shown.
They're just actively
much
not shown in Shrek 4.
I gotta go back and do my research.
Didn't they have the wolf babysitting in Shrek?
The wolf had babies? What?
Babysitting.
Oh, the wolf babysitting.
Probably.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised, probably.
Possible.
But I don't know. I also think that, like, I don't know. I know this trailer or teaser is like a cast announcement. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was the intention specifically. But with the memes, showing through, it's clever, it's funny.
Right.
But then it's like, okay, it gave me Wreck-It Ralph 2 vibes. Remember with like all the different memes it tried to do, the social media stuff, and it did not land at all.
Yeah, it does feel kind of like that.
I doubt that that's what they're gonna do with this movie. This teaser gave me that vibe, and I did not appreciate it. But I love those Shrek memes, so
Shrek memes were funny.
But I just hope that they don't stick with that.
I need the Shrek makeout filter.
You need to say that one more time.
I need the Shrek makeout filter.
Like, I think them going this way for just marketing the movie would be funny, but if any of this carries into the actual movie, I don't know. I think it would be breaking into the Wreck-It Ralph 2 shit that no one likes.
I don't remember any of Wreck-It Ralph 2. Did I?
Wreck-It Ralph, I remember Wreck-It Ralph had a segment about, like, social media space because it was the first time that all the arcade games were getting plugged into the internet. Like Wreck-It Ralph breaks the internet was the whole deal, which is a real hilarious tag to play off of, considering the whole break the internet thing was Kim Kardashian. And it was a whole nude shoot. So why was that the thing that we wanted to anyway?
Why is that the tagline
for this children's movie? But
Wreck-It Ralph just giving Kim Kardashian back shot.
I'm gonna wreck it.
I'm actually fairly certain that happened at least once. But there was a portion where like Ralph was getting inundated with the idea, like he got trapped in like a room that was showing him like the social media side of the internet, and was like the mean comments and the memes and the virality. And
it was literally product placement too for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
It wasn't nearly as bad as like the Emoji Movie or some shit, but it was like it was a moment in the movie.
It was a step under the Emoji Movie when it comes to facepalm, lulls, memes, social media.
I think I would give it a little more grace than that. Like I said, it was a moment in the movie. It wasn't the whole movie trying to be.
What moment are you thinking about?
I'm thinking specifically of the one where he's like in front of a giant fucking screen. I guess there probably was some references thrown in throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent. As soon as he enters there, it's like you first see like Twitter birds flying, and then you see a whole overworld of like, you got Instagram, Facebook Tower, you got
Yeah,
all
but I
this
remember
stuff.
that bit.
And as you're running through, all of like, the human characters are interacting and doing stuff because they're avatars online. And then there's a lot going on. And, it could have been way worse. It definitely could have been better.
Fair enough.
I like
I don't
Wreck-It
remember
Ralph, but I don't know. That was an interesting take that they went on for that
Fair
one.
enough.
Interesting is very kind.
Shrek 6 before GTA 6?
All right. Well, Shrek 5 comes out in 2026.
Did you guys see that meme I shared today?
Probably not.
Okay, we have to watch it now.
They made. It's funny how like Rockstar Games makes this big announcement whenever they want to drop a trailer. like a trailer's coming soon in about a month.
Bitch, we want the game. Well, I don't give a damn about GTA, but we'll probably have the game come soon.
Right.
Like, that'd be kind of fucking nice.
When?
Yeah, no. Shrek 5, I guess we'll see how this shapes up. It's the art style really is like, it's a little weird. It's just throwing me off like initially, but I think it's something I could probably move past pretty quickly.
It's not bad. It's just confusing, and it's just different enough that you're like, that's not Shrek, or you're like, that's not Fiona. That's not the character that I remember. Like,
It's not what I'm used to for sure. And there's like people are either like, it's whatever, but then you got people who are like, oh, this style fucking sucks. You need to do the same thing that they did with Sonic and like freaking like, complain about it everywhere. And I don't think we need to do all of that.
I think
know.
it feels sloppy personally.
I like how they keep saying this, and like people keep complaining about the animation. I don't think that's what they're complaining about. They're complaining about the art
The
style.
animation is really good.
The animation
is great.
I think what they're meaning to say is they're trying to say art style, and one person said animation, and the rest of them are going animation.
Yeah, I don't think
as
I
well.
just don't think they have the vernacular.
Fix the animation. No, y'all just want them to style it differently. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
So how did they achieve like a cohesive look between the last 4 movies? Was it like the same model, the same animation, the same render engine? Like,
I would assume so. I couldn't tell you.
If they had been making movies this whole time and gradually shifted, we never would have known the difference. But they did it all at once. They fucked up. They denied us decades of Shrek, and now they're fucked.
Yeah.
All right?
They
should have been making Shrek this whole time, and instead they did
they should be Shrek fucking 19. What the hell are we doing?
What the hell's going on?
Christmas 2026.
Yeah.
So this is hella early.
Good.
Yeah, Shrek 5, we'll see how that shapes up. People real angry about that new art style. I don't think it's Sonic levels.
We did it with Sonic. We can do it again.
I don't think this is what it's going to play out that way. I guess we'll see. You good there?
I didn't feel good on my throat.
Well, speaking of companies using AI and fucking some shit up, Activision Blizzard is using generative AI to hawk games that don't exist. This I just kind of came across, I think, on Blue Sky the other day.
Now, when they use the term hawk, what?
So this article gets into it. It's a relatively short one, so I'll just fucking read it.
Okay. That looks terrible, by the way.
It looks like shit, right? Also, I don't think I would ever want a Guitar Hero mobile. Like, I just wouldn't want that.
Honestly, that's just like tap revenge,
right?
I think
Is this
that piano game?
Yeah, that
piano game.
Yeah.
Is this recent? Because I know there's way better image generation than that. That's like
okay, but what if Guitar Hero Mobile was where you took a phone and you put it in one part of a guitar thing and put it took another phone, put the other part of the guitar thing, and then like played on the phone.
You know what's fucked up? You are actually like describing a really cool concept, but then also making it kind of stupid. It's the second you had to add a second phone, where it kind of got real dumb.
He got
the first
two.
part was kind of sick,
The first part is kind of sick, but that's not everything.
but that's not everything.
You
And then
got-
you have to get the second part, and it's like, oh, that's right. Yeah,
He's
this would
got
be
two
stupid. This would be
phones,
dumb.
one for the neck and one for the hole.
Well, and then you got another phone for the whammy bar.
You just move it up and down with.
So it's like Merriman has to move it up
So
and down.
how do you hold? So you just have to hold this third phone in your
Yes.
head while strumming everything else.
Well, there are different ways you can do it. Okay, you can lock it in so that you like move the phone. And
Oh yeah, you do have a real
go.
guitar in your fucking head. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you need the appendage in 3 phones.
This article was from the fucking third, so I don't know how recently they got caught. Activision Blizzard has been using generative AI to create online ads for games that do not actually exist. VGC spotted promos for 3 fake titles: Guitar Hero Mobile, Crash Bandicoot Brawl, and the Call of Duty Zombie Defender on Instagram. The ads led to mock-up App Store pages on a site called Geek Lab, where upon clicking Get, viewers were treated to the message, "Thanks for your interest. This isn't a real game, but could be someday. We'd love if you could answer this short survey, which could help inform the potential future of this game. Your feedback really matters to us." Last week, the Call of Duty publisher confirmed player suspicions that it was using the controversial technology to produce some in-game assets. At the moment, it's unclear what those specific assets are, and it only came out because of Valve's Steam conduct on studios disclosing if their game uses Gen AI in any capacity. Most use surrounding the technology has concerned its efficiency on game development in fields like art and voice acting. In an early 2024 survey, nearly 50% of developers said they were using the technology at work, with most of that use concerning finances or community and product management. Game publishers typically gauge interest for future game projects with surveys, like EA asking players if there was any appeal in remaking the Dead Space sequels. Activision Blizzard's new advertising, quote unquote, is ethically dicey, both because it's one of the industry's biggest publishers and because the ads are widely promoting titles which aren't real now and may possibly not become real in the future. Game developer has reached out to Activision Blizzard about the ads and will update when a comment is given.
They're just trying to get like engagement data.
Yeah.
Like, what do people want?
I mean, I actually attended a talk on this while I was at GDC. This is just standard practice for mobile video game publishers right now. Everybody, because it's a lot easier to get somebody to click on something than it is to make that thing. Mm-hmm. So they do it to gauge interest. They do it to get clicks going to pages. All the game ads that for game like the pin pull, like for games that don't actually fucking exist, right? Like even when they lead to a game and you download the game,
and it's not the game you.
It's
want.
not the game. I mean, should be legal.
So I had to separate 2 things about this article, right? So there's the AI shit, and I'm gonna put it to the side for a quick second. Mm-hmm. As far as them doing these not guerrilla marketing, I don't even know what you would define it as, but the use of these fake, like these ads for games that don't exist thing, I don't think it's the craziest thing. Like you said, like it's, I look at it as, if you asked me if I wanted a Guitar Hero Mobile, I would just straight up tell you I don't want a Guitar Hero Mobile. If you asked it in the way of like, would you want us to make Guitar Hero Mobile? I would be like, no.
How would that work?
I don't even want to find out how that would work.
Why not? You don't have a phone?
Yeah, I do.
The mobile market's rancid.
I just don't. What I want Guitar Hero for, I don't know if I'm going to have that experience on mobile, and I don't need another fucking tap revolution. But if you go like, hey, there's a Guitar Hero Mobile, I'd be like, fuck it, I'll check it out. Like that could gauge interest. I don't know how well their findings will be, because like just people looking at the thing and going, this exists, isn't going to always equate out to interested in this existing. But I can see why you would do it. And I remember us talking about we talked about this a long time ago in one of the earlier episodes. And I'm trying to remember what the situation was. But we talked about use of like fake, like ads for fake thing. A thing that doesn't actually exist, but I can't remember what it is.
I mean, I personally, I think it should be illegal, but I also don't think it will be because it's not actually harming consumers, which is what we typically look for when we decide whether or not to make something legal. I just think it's scummy.
It's definitely scummy, especially with Activision Blizzard. Y'all need to have a fucking squeaky clean like track record.
Yeah, y'all can't be doing this shit.
Mobile Fish Dog Central, like,
because then we add in the whole AI thing, and that's just never gonna go well for you.
The more I look at this Guitar Hero mobile image, the more angry it makes me. Just all of the speakers that are just like souls escaping the damnation from hell, and just the mysterious donuts that look like amulets in the corner. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm so upset I enlarged this. Your eyes are way better than mine.
Oh,
so like at this size, it looks fine. I did not notice the swirlies.
Look at that.
Oh, it looks so much worse.
At first glance, I did it, but the more I looked at it, the more bad it is. The drum set. What the fuck is going on with the drum set?
Abomination of a drum set.
It really
how
is.
all the angles are warped.
It looks like it's refracting through.
Yes,
it just looks like
it's refracting like through a fucking prism.
Through all possible realities, like all physically possible drum sets are represented right here, right now.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, those swirls look like it's like a speaker on a banner or something like that. Like,
it does. It looks like they're going to give you an award, but the award is a speaker.
Which one of those speakers is just like ethereally floating in the air?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like it looks like it's on a banner or something. Like I don't.
Yeah.
We're all talking about the same fucking thing. We can't tell that we're talking about the same fucking thing because it's so fucking weird.
So much going on here.
But the thing is, I know that there's AI out there that can do way better.
That could do way better than this.
Oh yeah, I wonder what they tried to use and how many prompts and attempts that they took to get here. You know what I mean?
There's also a big assumption on when they created this. They generated this, right?
Yeah. Why is the dress standing so far apart from everybody else?
Because she's a woman.
No!
Why are you asking obvious questions, Dom? There are better things to worry about.
Why is her back foot floating off the ground?
Such an unbalanced composition.
Why is the center shadow so much more prominent than any other one?
Right. Yeah, no, this just looks ugly as sin. But they did it for like 2 other games too, I guess. Like, I'm kind of curious what that site looks like.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder what those images look like too.
I had.
Oh,
God.
It's even worse.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they didn't train it to do. They have to have trained it.
I don't think they trained. So here's what I think happened.
Hey, I hear it looks awesome.
Right.
Here's what I think happened. I think that somebody with limited resources at Activision was told to do research, and so they went to they're like, all right, fuck it, I'm putting together some Gen AI ads, right, and then
and the model they chose just happened to know what Guitar Hero is in the prompt.
Go to Google.
I mean, I guess it probably is pretty pervasive.
I mean, let's just try this right now. Let's go.
But it's absolutely what they will use.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're prompt engineers.
Prompt?
Right. Hurry thine ass up, Imogen.
Oh god, that's way
Why are these way better?
Holy moly. That logo is surprising.
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero. Mobile. It got mobile fine. TM. As well as the download now. The
2 Apple icons.
2 Apple icons and a really fucked up Android icon.
What did they do to that little guy?
His little hands.
Who's just throwing up a middle finger in the background there?
2 people.
Let me open it up bigger, you bitches. Fucking copy. No. I'm gonna download it. So just anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Krita, no.
Do you not have any JPEGs on your computer?
Apparently not, I guess. I think it's mostly I just never set a default. This guitar is actually really
I mean, the hands are nice.
Hands are nice. I'm really shocked at how good they got
Like the
string board,
strings.
the fret. It fucks up a little bit right here, but it kind of catches itself.
You need to tell it to add a shitload of speakers.
Okay, yeah, no, like put them on a stage. Should fear.
Feature.
Should fear the speakers.
4 band members.
Guitar players. They're all guitar players.
Oh,
All of them are guitar players.
4 band members. All guitar players. Playing
On the
on a
guitar.
stage. On a guitar. Surrounded
With guitars.
by speakers with lights and a drum set.
And lots of speakers.
Did I not say that?
No, just say.
Just
say
surrounded
more.
by speakers, not set.
We need
Just
more
add more.
speakers.
Add more. Well, no, add audience too. Because there was an audience. Had lights of speakers.
Lights. And audience.
Oh, lights and speakers. Whoops.
No. Let it cook.
I'm just
Glowing
gonna
speakers.
typing.
Let it cook.
God.
That's like,
Jesus.
I mean, this is fucking milquetoast a little
Yeah.
bit, but it
Yeah.
looks really good.
Like,
It makes sense.
I
in
didn't
terms
say
of
5,
like
by the way.
quality. Like, the crispness of it.
Tell them to paint it like Leonardo da Vinci.
It's like they wanted to get caught.
Honestly, a little bit. Why?
You know, they maybe that is part of it.
This one got Guitar Hero correct. Guitar Hero Mobile. It actually got it all correct.
Wow.
Every other one is like, oh, that looks good.
That
Oh,
was
no.
Guitar.
Guitar Hero
Wait,
Mobile.
go back to that one that got the
Guitar
look at
Hero.
the fabric in the back on that has speakers on it.
What is that?
Like so you remember how the other one looked like a banner with speakers on it?
Yeah.
This one literally has banners with speakers on it.
There it is.
There it is.
Interesting. Which is, I don't know. I feel like the image that they posted, it reminds me of Midjourney.
It kind of looks like they're playing in front of children.
A little bit it does.
Yeah,
The hands are so tiny.
Yeah.
The heads are so tiny.
And that one's flipping the bird.
No, flipping the bird. Metalheads flip the bird all the time, man. All right, so we'll make this the last one. Okay, it's just the same one.
Without the audience.
Yeah, they added I didn't say add a fucking drummer. I said a drum set.
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero where? Guitar tier.
Guitar tier. Guitar Hero.
You get a hero. You get a hero.
This is my favorite one.
Guitar Hero.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, this has to be from like a while ago that just finally got put out as an ad.
Yeah.
Because in fairness, they had to also create like a dummy website and a whole thing and all that bullshit. As well as set up the survey and get all that stuff out the way. So I'm guessing this has to be older because that was too easy to create with better results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also we knew a thing about the models that are good.
Fair. There's also that. So
What do you mean they don't know which models are good?
if it was a random ass intern,
if it's a fucking, because I'm thinking that this is probably like somebody just working at Activision.
Just somebody working at Activision? Is it you?
I just thought it was funnier if I stopped there because obviously they're working at Activision.
yeah.
Well,
Hey,
it
look,
could be-
motherfuckers, a job's a job. Like,
Yeah, no,
as long as you're not a woman, you're probably fine at Activision.
Yo.
Are you okay? Has the sexism gotten to you?
The sexism has gotten to me. That's all my allyship leaving my body.
Allyship leaving my body. All right.
Oh, whoops. Give me an orange light, fine. There you go. Damn it. Oh, man, we need to take a break. We desperately need a break. Yeah, don't fucking AI.
Don't do that shit.
Don't do it.
Don't fucking
Activision,
AI.
everything you're currently doing, don't do it. I get trying to gauge interest with marketing and shit. I don't think that's the worst concept in the world. I don't think it's the best either. But especially if you're gonna do it, don't AI generate this shit.
And if you're gonna do it, make sure people can't tell.
Make
It's
sure we
not
can't
that hard.
fucking tell. Like it's so ugly.
It's obvious. I wonder if people like
You're gonna be
before they
shitty. At least
post it.
fucking get away with it.
Right. I wonder what people do before they post it. Like, okay, this is ready to go. What do you guys think? Like, was no one like, I don't know about that. It looks AI generate. Like, is no one on the team being like, that looks weird? Like,
no, because
Why is there pink swirl and blue line? Why is
there 2 blue line, 3 blue?
Why did the color
2.5
just
blue
change?
line?
The color just changes halfway down one of the lines. Oh, man.
why bad?
Why bad?
You just fire on God.
Oh boy, this is really fucking bad. But hey, what else can you expect out of good old Activision Blizzard? You motherfuckers are gonna forever be embroiled in some kind of controversy. Oh well. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right bizzle. Blender continues to be basically the best 3D modeling software out there now.
continues to improve.
Yeah.
If you ever use it, go and donate. They need your help.
They do. Make sure you're paying those. I've actually been making more of a habit of paying like smaller artists, creators, and people that run like smaller tools that I really like image converters and
Well, even if it's like
kind of stuff.
especially if it's like free, but you can donate.
Yeah, if you can't
Even
donate,
if you only give like $1 or
right.
2, like,
Anything is better than nothing.
if 1 million people give $1,
Yeah. Unless it's WinRAR or Wikipedia. They don't need it.
Yeah,
Everybody else though.
especially not after the bag that they're trying to sell with WinRAR. Like
Yeah,
go buy that
right.
for sure.
Fucking, how much was that bag? Was that bag like 300?
It was like $150.
150, something like that. I was like, hey, let's calm that down. You are not Louis Vuitton.
You know, I would have bought it though.
That's right.
That's fair.
Yeah, I would have done it.
You
though.
got your
If it wasn't-
nerves. You
if
definitely
it wasn't
would.
sold
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
we probably would have.
Oh, yeah.
I've done it though. It was a lot, but I would have done it.
I think everything on that site was sold out.
It was all really fucking cool too.
It was. It like legit was. Okay, before we get
Fucking, I work in WinRAR. What do you do? I'm a fashion designer. Really fucking good one too.
really good one too.
I heard you said your uncle was Louis Vuitton. Could he do our merch?
Louis Vuitton.
We should just go around a bunch of like high society fashion motherfuckers and just refer to it as that.
Mispronounce.
Nut like Gookie.
Cookie.
I love your Gookie bag.
Your Deuce and
Is it Gookie or Gucky? I can never remember.
I always pronounce it Goosey.
Goosey. Give me that sweet Goosey. Your,
Loosey goosey bag.
Your Dulce and that's Cabana. Dulce and
Gigabana.
Cabana.
Cabana.
Deuce and Cabana.
Deuce and Cabana?
Yeah. Like, isn't it so fashionable right now?
Are you wearing Yves Saint Laurent?
What?
YSL? Yves Saint Laurent.
I had no idea that this was even supposed to be pronounced. Holy
This
shit.
bitch is real high fashion. He's a plant. Get out of here! You know a name I don't know. You outsider.
You fucking outsiders. You plebeians.
Terrible.
All right, I got one quick Reddit thing. I didn't even expect to do Reddit this week, but I had one I happened to come across during setup. It's from r/d&d, It says, am I wrong for not falling for a nat 20 deception check? There was a second I was like, yeah, you are. It's fucking D&D. And then I read through more of it and I was like, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. So I'm playing a Dragonborn Barbarian. Recently, one of my PC companions died. The player wanted to create another character. That's perfectly okay. And another one of my PC companions wanted to skin the dead PC. Oh. Our DM made him roll a deception check to fool us into accepting it. I didn't have time to say I wasn't okay with it, which he rolled a nat 20. We never tried to convince, fool, intimidate each other, so this was a first. I wasn't okay with this because my character, even though an idiot, will not accept a dead ally to be skinned for who knows why. So I rolled to attack him with an unarmed strike. The session continued like normal, yet after the session ended, the DM and player, Skinner, complained that I attacked him even though I should have been fooled. Am I in the wrong for not being okay with another PC trying to deceive me like this?
It's not a deception.
Right? Like, I'm guessing based on the way they write that essentially what's going on is that they didn't roll deception to skin the character. They rolled deception to do it and not have everybody else know that it happened.
See, that would make sense.
That would make a lot of sense.
That would make sense. I think you're inserting sense into what was written.
Fair. Our DM made him roll a deception check to fool us into accepting it.
Because it's not fooling us into knowing about it, it's into accepting
it. Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
I mean, I can see why he would have him roll a deception for that.
Yeah.
If it's about getting people to accept this weirdly heinous thing you just fucking did.
Well, like, yeah, if it's after the fact and he's going to... Because, like, I don't know. I agree a lot with the top comment, actually, that we see here.
This says, rolling deception checks against other PCs is just as much PvP as punching them is. Your table should have covered whether this was okay in session 0. At most tables, it wouldn't be okay. That said, it would have been better to react by halting gameplay and bringing up the issue out of play rather than by escalating in the game with a punch.
Because, like, let's say, you know... So I'm trying to figure out... Because if... The only situation in which I can foresee a character reacting like this realistically would be like if we're playing and then the other character's like, I'm going to skin him. And in game, they're like, and in game, they don't clarify how they're discussing this or what's going on. And you just know my character would never let that happen.
Right.
My character isn't going to let that happen. And if you're not role playing the scenario or something like that, then but if you are adding role-playing elements, like where does that line exist between like the role-play elements? What kind of bullshit excuse did they come up with?
Yeah.
Versus what they roll, right? Because if they don't come up with something plausible, it's hard to just say have your character be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna let you commit heinous acts that my character would never accept because of a dice like that.
Yeah, at least do like one of those. Oh, what's that over there or some shit? Like I don't know.
Yeah, because if like you just did the skinning in front of them and
do they like pull out irrefutable proof that this person killed your mother? Like,
right.
Like
it's like the death of to remind y'all, the death of the PC happened in normal gameplay.
Yeah.
Like this character, a PC didn't just turn to another player character and just kill them to take their skin. They're being an opportunist, to use that word. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at this. I'm curious how the player who's getting skinned felt about it. Granted, they wanted to make a new character anyway. Like,
I don't need it anymore. It'll be a good resource.
Man, yeah, shit. It's a fucking resource. Go for it. Whatever. Who gives a damn? But at the same time, it's like, if you're also playing a Dragonborn and your Dragonborn has a, like, yeah, like, I mean, you're not just going to watch you skin, like, our fucking companion.
Our friend.
Like a common fucking alligator or some shit. Oh, yeah, no.
Like, the deception would be like, oh, I wasn't going to actually do that.
I wasn't actually, or to have done it, have the skin, and you're lying about where you got the skin from.
Yeah.
That could be the deception. Once again, I can
is
see.
That Jeremy?
Yeah.
No! That's fucking Jeremy!
He's missing his skin.
Yeah.
No. Like you say that you're going to bury it and then you do some manipulation, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Because clearly the DM was okay with it. I think the weird thing here is why even have the role to accept it if no one hadn't even had a chance to object to it, which is really weird.
Yeah, the whole that's something that bugs me when I don't play as much as I like listen, but like when people are like, I'm gonna do this thing and then they just roll without like it getting approved either by DM or other people. And it's like, oh, I got this. It's like, well, I mean, wait a minute, that's not how we do this. Like,
I'm gonna roll to punch the sun out of existence.
I rolled a nat 20. Well, motherfucker, no. You think you punched that sun out of existence. You accidentally punched your eye out. No. Yeah, you're not wrong for not falling for it. I think I also agree with the top comment of like that's something you really should have just brought up at the table. But it's also like if they just
it sounds like really a very sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I just said those are the rules.
Rules are rules.
It sounds like a very poorly managed conflict in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like there was no nuance, there was no real like forethought and like
right,
because like I could foresee a situation where like you are deceiving another character about some element of this game, or you're like passing off some element of a scheme that you're going to do in order to skin this character.
Yeah. Like, what would you say or do for
right,
it to be a deception roll? You can't just say, I'm going to try to deceive and roll it.
Someone says here, at the very least, I require a role play from the party. The dude skinning a friend has to tell the group exactly what he says to them to deceive them.
Yeah.
So that I can decide what the DC for the check is. The charisma skills are huge for role play. If you want to lie to people, you need to tell me what the lie is for the DC. Like trying to trick a guard that you're a new recruit and you're here to replace his patrol for the night. But this is a 1 of 3 guards in total for this location. So there's just no way he'd believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it has to be that hard, but yeah, it's like you have to. I'm really curious. Like this is one of those ones I kind of do want more information though, because I'm really curious how everybody else at the table reacted to that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that the Skinner PC and the DM had this conversation so quickly you couldn't have objected to it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I get why that could possibly throw you off. But at the end of it, I kind of look at it and go like, heat of the moment, right? If the character who's about to have their player skinned, oh sorry, I forgot. OP says, sorry, I forgot to add this. I tried talking against it, but I wasn't being listened to. I probably could have tried to speak up, but that was the only way I saw in the moment of being against something.
You know, if it feels like the people at your table aren't acknowledging what you're saying or like any complaints that you're bringing up, then taking in-game action, well, not a great way to end up resolving the conflict. Feels like a valid choice to me.
It sounds like the session did end, but I guess they're still going. So someone says, not being listened to was a problem in itself. I saw in another comment your table did not have a session 0. That's bad.
Oh, wait, what?
That's at least 3 red flags and counting. Do you think talking to the DM outside of play would help? OP says, currently doing so. I hope we come to an understanding. Someone asks for an update. So OP says, from part of the Skinner, I'm okay with someone not believing me, but how can you say the lie wasn't good? His lie was, I'm honoring his death by doing a ritual in his name, adding that I made my character to be dumb and he is a... What's that?
I think they mispronounced necromancer, but hemomancer, it could be like a blood thing. I've never seen that before.
Oh, you know what? I can see that definitely being a hemomancer, one who practices magic or divination involving blood. Fair enough. He's a hemomancer, so it makes sense. From part of the DM, I shouldn't have made him roll for it, even though I thought it was something valid, as we knew it was a lie. He sort of takes responsibility yet wants to cut the conversation and or make it short. He is also sort of new in DMing.
Well, that's a situation in which like he could believe that that's what he's doing or why he's doing it, but that's still not something
that doesn't make everybody else
accept
it. Yeah, you can't make anybody just accept that.
Right, because you got to think about what success means in that scenario, right? Like believing your deception does not necessarily mean that your character is going to react and give you what you want.
Right.
This is actually something that I learned when I was playing Baldur's Gate 3, and I would do something like I would try to talk to a squirrel, but I didn't have any like language speech or something like that. I would roll a nat 20, and then I would get what success means within the boundaries of reality. What was going on, where I was like, oh, I succeeded at this, but my
I
options
can't
for
all of a sudden understand Squirrel.
yeah. Like
But I'm getting in for like is that an actual thing that happened in Baldur's Gate 3?
it wasn't. It was. I think it was like talking with the squirrel. I believe there were 2 situations where this happened specifically. One, where I was interacting with a owlbear cub whose mother I had just murdered.
Well,
Yep.
my mother's murderer is now speaking to me.
Yeah. Well, like I come into the cave. No matter what I did, I wanted to be nice to these bears, but no matter what I did, I aggroed the mother immediately. Right. Even when I was like safe coming and trying to figure shit out.
I wonder if it's you were in her territory around her cubs. Who knows?
Well, I was stuck in a situation where I had to react, and afterwards I was like, well, I don't want to just fucking kill this cub.
Did you have talk with animals on when you went?
I didn't have to talk with animals. I didn't have to speak with animals when I went there. So like even when I was succeeding in the animal handling checks with that cub, the cub wasn't gonna be my fucking friend. The cub wasn't my fucking friend. The cub was like, I'm not gonna kill you right now, and that's what you get. And then it's fair, right? That's like,
well, depending on what you could have made friends.
I've seen that scenario in different situations, and I know there are different ways that it can play out. But given the skill set what I had and the context of the situation, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like, so
God, I want to DM another campaign so fucking bad. I also want to play in the campaign right now.
I'm craving some DOS, baby. I have a feeling that I'm
gonna DOS.
Yes.
I would love to be in another campaign. That sounds fun.
Well, but yeah, so like even if you succeed in deceiving about that thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that the characters are gonna be like, okay,
right. Yeah, it starts to devolve down. The rest of the conversation kind of devolves down into a what kind of role it should have been and how things should have been played out. Right. Yeah, there was just better ways to handle this, but it sounds like this is also a new DM. That's something that they do. The OP does mention eventually is like they're pretty new at DMing and not entirely certain how to go. I will say, like, if everybody else involved is fine with the scenario, probably best to just go on and move on past it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to look at that and go, is this enough? Like, I'm curious if it bothers them, because it sounds like it bothers them outside of universe too. Like it bothers them at a table level, even with the justification for their particular character. Because what do they say here? We never tried to convince, fool, intimidate each other, so this was a first. Which is also, that is kind of out of fucking nowhere. That is really out of nowhere to skin your fucking companion.
Some pretty out of pocket shit.
That's some out of pocket shit, but at the same time, it is what it is. Because like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this like chaotic evil ass PC that's never done anything bad up till this point?
But like, yeah, I'm a good skin bro,
right? Oh yeah. So that was just a random one that kind of fucking popped up, and just wanted to talk about it.
Also, trying to get away with skinning somebody by saying you're going to do a funeral rite and then doing it in front of them,
right?
Seems like a real dumb way to go about it.
It's not a great way to go about it, but
yeah.
You know what you should have done is call them stupid and tell them they were a dummy.
Yeah,
that would have worked.
That would have resolved the conflict.
100%. 100%.
100 placenta.
Speaking of placenta,
it's really healthy if you eat it.
So,
hate this neat trick.
Hate this one weird trick.
I like to fry mine.
Gotta make sure to add scallions though, so it's healthy. Parsley also works. I know.
I know too.
We know. So anyway, there was a pretty major update. What was it? What was the 27th? Was that Thursday last week? Yes. Last Thursday, we finally got like a new official trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA.
Zah.
Pokemon Legends Zah.
Zah.
And so we finally got to see where's the Zah, bro?
Where's the Zah?
Fresh pack of Zah.
So we got to see some actual gameplay. And I'll show y'all that here right now.
Update on Pokemon Legends ZA.
He looks so serious, bro. Like
He
chill
always
out.
does. He always looks that serious. It's really funny.
Very intense, man.
So, like, off the bat, this looks pretty darn good for a Pokemon game.
Not realistic enough.
Where's the fucking guns?
Where's the goddamn guns? One thing I don't like.
Animation is terrible.
Okay, like you're joking. It kind of is though.
Really?
These the Pokemon are very so the animations aren't the worst, right? They are workable. One thing for me is Pokemon continues to have this big problem with making the Pokemon models actually interact with the environment around them. It'll come up a bit later here, but we saw like with the Pokemon swimming in water, you don't get much in the way of like water effects or particle effects around the Pokemon. When those little Sandiles were burrowing through the sand, you got like some little puff effects, but not a lot. I'll get into it more a little bit later here.
What is this?
Mega Evolution. This is a feature coming back from the last few 3DS games people have been wanting.
Oh, okay.
I like that dude.
He's 9 feet tall.
He's
9
feet
And
tall.
over 3,000 years old.
He's just like me.
3,000.
Yeah.
That Z is doing something to that A. It's
He's
not
doing a
appropriate.
lot to that A.
Why did
It's
that-
not appropriate.
Why did that Pokemon have a green butthole?
So is it kind of
Zygarde.
slightly open world, kind of?
So it is in the same vein as Legends Arceus, which was also open world. It is an open world
okay.
styling. This is the one that's set in a single city, but this city is gigantic, and they did confirm that it's all within this city. So if y'all remember, I made the slight prediction that you're gonna be within the city, but they're gonna get around that by having you travel to the past and to the future and shit like that. It looks like it's not. It looks like it's just gonna be within the city, and instead they're gonna set up what's called Pokemon zones around the place. So there's going to be dedicated wild areas that you go to actually collect Pokemon, as well as it looks like they can also appear within the city in a really cool way.
That board's gonna go so crazy.
Oh, it's going to go absolutely fucking nuts. Interesting thing about this, about Urbane and Tawny, this is the first time in any Pokemon game or any mainline series or mainline series adjacent Pokemon game where the rival character here is... They used a gender swap model instead of having two distinct characters. That usually that has never happened with Pokemon. Usually, so in Gen 1, there was just the one rival. It was Blue/Gary/ whatever you want to call him. In Gen 2,
Stinky poo boy.
it was just Silver. That's when they introduced having a male or female protagonist, which itself were two distinct characters, and you're just choosing which one you want to play as. Starting in Gen 3, they had your rival and your main characters were two sides of the same coin. So whichever one you chose, the other one became your rival. Still two distinct characters, and they did that up through Gen 5, or up through Gen 5. Gen 6 is when they started doing the created character thing. So you just created your own blank slate character, and then they would still just give you a rival or a group of rivals to play against. And they kept that going all the way through up to the last generation of Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet. So even in Legends Arceus, they had the thing of like whatever character you chose, the other character for that pair of characters was your rival at that point. This is the first time we've seen a gender swap that will just do its gender based on the gender of your character. We've never seen this before because people were pointing out like how those are literally the same character model with just some slight feature alterations. Like obviously the hair is different, obviously the clothes are different, and the female character has the I'm a female eyelashes and whatever the fuck's going on under her thing, and he just has bags under his eyes for whatever fucking reason.
She has 3 bags under her eyes, actually.
She has triple thin bags under her eyes.
He really is 9 feet tall.
He is 9 feet tall. So AZ,
it's all in the legs.
It's all in the legs.
That's
to the point he has a
crazy.
fucking brace on.
Is that a tail, or is that just how long his
That's
hair
just how long his hair is.
Okay.
So this dude was introduced in X and Y, which is what these games are based off of. So Gen 6 Pokemon. He is a character from legit He is over 3,000 years old, and I don't even know that his name is AZ.
That's the name of the game.
Right.
I'm actually surprised he doesn't look younger for being 3,000.
Right. In a game that has never done shit like this before. Like, they've done time travel shit. They've never had just a character just exist eternally. But it's because of this partner Pokemon, if I recall correctly. He was his partner Pokemon. A big old war kind of shit happened. This Pokemon Floette. I don't remember all the fucking story tells. This game came out in like 2013. Might have been like 2012. But she stops the conflict in whatever way and disappears. And he literally just lives on for 3,000 years in the hopes of finding her. And he reunites with her at the end of X and Y.
So she gave him eternal life.
I want to say yes. And somehow that she bestowed eternal life upon him.
What the fuck? Why haven't we heard about this? Wait,
I gotta give me one of those.
Did you play X and Y?
No.
Yeah, that's why you haven't heard about it.
It sounds like a powerful ass Pokemon that I've never heard about before.
Right? Because like she's a special form of another Pokemon that's just a regular Pokemon from Gen 6. But yeah, some of this stuff is like a little bit less important. This is just going over characters and who they are. One thing I did notice that kind of makes me feel a little better about this game is in the background. I specifically looked in the background to see how characters would move within the background. Because one thing that was a big problem with Scarlet and Violet is that Game Freak had such ridiculous like LOD and frame rate throttling where those characters are now. And usually in most games, what they would do is just cut out everything outside of the camera view.
Yeah.
And you only see what's in there. What Pokemon did, I can't say whether or not they cut out environment around them. I don't think they did. I think they use a lot of LODs, and they would just drop all animations for anything further than like 20 meters from the character to like single digit, like legit, like 3 to 5 frames a second.
Yeah.
Like just slideshows. I think you've seen this.
Well, I'm playing through the Kirby game that released for the Switch.
Oh, yeah.
A while ago, Kirby's Forgotten Land.
Yeah.
It does the same thing. Where
I didn't notice it with that one.
Yeah, when you're further away from an enemy or something, it like drops the frame rate of the animation until you get like pretty much super close to it.
That's really weird because Nintendo usually does a much better job of like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom did not have to do this. They did not do this at all. That's really interesting. I have to boot that up again. I haven't looked at that in a while.
Look at the resolution of like these cobblestones.
It's not great. It's not great at all. It's really bad.
Everything in this game so far has been light as fuck.
Yeah. The shadows have never looked good in any of the 3D Pokemon games. Or at least the dynamic shadows. The static shadows, those always look fine. But when you get to things that have to move around. So that's what I wanted to bring up again. They have little dust effects. And they have the little dust particle effects. But there's nothing that actually says that those things are moving through the ground.
It just looks like they're clipping.
They're just slipping through the ground. Like they're just clipped into the ground.
Yeah.
And Pokemon in water do the same thing. Where they're like...
There's just no juice.
There's just no juiciness to this at all, right?
I just want them to hire like an art director, technical
get a
artist,
consultant on tech art or anything, man.
Imagine like if they just made it beautiful.
If you just made it look so much better, and you're fucking Pokemon, you could ask Nintendo for literally anything and they would just give it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have the resources.
Right? Can you just give us all...
Think of the shareholders.
Yeah, actually, think of the shareholders. They probably want a better product that more people would be excited about and willing to talk about in a positive light.
See, not me looking at like the small tufts of grass versus like the texture grass.
Right.
Like
we need to funnel those profits back into creating merch.
Yeah, they continue to do a thing that bugs me. So they're showing off the battle system here, which is the first time we're getting a much more dynamic and like actually environmental battle system.
How do you feel about that?
I actually really like it.
Okay,
I really like it. I like that it's more dynamic.
I like it. There are guns.
Did you say I like that there are guns?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
it looks a little more interesting to watch the battles.
You're not
because of
watching
it.
them. Actually, you're playing in them.
Well, yeah, like you're playing, but from watching what's going on here, it looks
as a perspective.
yeah.
Like, so
Spectator.
Very interesting. They showed this off a couple times. Your character is moving around and your Pokemon is moving, and people are noticing that you can tell, and they say it in here, you can tell your Pokemon to dodge attacks. We have waited 25 fucking years of watching the anime have a literal, hey, Charizard, dodge it, to finally be able to tell your Pokemon to dodge an attack.
That's not an action when it's your turn. Like you can't
that's
tell
not
it?
an actual action that happens.
What?
It's a thing you can. For Pokemon up till this point, dodging and evasion has always just been tied to an evasion stat. So.
Also, it's RNG.
It's essentially RNG that you can manipulate up or down throughout gameplay. To the actual action of telling your Pokemon to dodge, this is brand new, and is one of the things that people are freaking out about. Of like, oh my god, we can actually tell them to dodge. So that's going to be interesting. But attacks have AOE effect now. You can attack multiple Pokemon in an area. I'm trying to remember if that was a thing in Legends of Arceus. And I don't believe it was. It was not. Pokemon could attack you in the overworld, but there was not like you can attack a group of Pokemon depending on the move that you're using and all that. So I'm actually really excited to see that battle system in use. There it is. No,
weird.
The most like minimal.
Might as well be in the fucking sky.
Go back. Yeah, go back to the Gyarados.
Like you can see, they're just barely doing some effects, but it's like.
What engine? Are they using a proprietary engine for this shit?
Pokemon, I believe,
doesn't
uses
support like a displacement map.
That's the fucked up part. I'm fairly certain Pokemon is developed in Unity.
Really?
They're just doing it in Unity engine. If I recall correctly, I remember that's what I heard. And it's coming later this year. To me, it's probably going to be holiday. I think that's what everybody else is expecting it to be.
See, it's inappropriate.
You're not liking. Let that Z and that A have their love, all right?
Not in front of my salad.
Really? In front of my salad? Yeah.
Are you able, like, in those dynamic battles, is it possible for you to like hurt the trainer?
Possibly. That's what I'm kind of curious about, because in Legends of Arceus you could. The trainer could get hurt by, but well, kind of, sort of. When you were in an actual battle, the trainer couldn't get hurt, but they would react to getting hit by an attack. Like they'll get like knocked in their butt. Or shield themselves or some kind of shit. But you did take damage in the overworld if you got hit by an attack outside of battles. If you got hit enough times, you'll get warped back to a safe point. You never officially died, but you would white out or black out or whatever, right?
Interesting.
You would get some helps. So honestly, this battle system actually really excited. People noticed that the attacks are on cooldowns. So you're not taking turns, you're just attacking when you have time to do so, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Mega Evolution. If you're a big Pokemon fan, you care about Mega Evolution and you're excited to see it come back. If you've never experienced it, it is a really cool thing. It gives your Pokemon a new form, gives them buffed stats. Like Mega Evolution Pokemon were some of the most powerful Pokemon in the game that weren't legendaries. It took some mediocre Pokemon and put them on legendary status, actually. Where right here, I don't know why I chose the longer form of this right here.
The floor texture's really not doing it for me there.
Yeah,
you would think that they would up the quality of that, considering that's what you're kind of staring at a lot of the time,
right? And
for some of these battles.
And the notes I was taking when I was first putting this together, that's one of the things I mentioned. I was like, I really wish Game Freak would just stop. Get a consultant and stop cutting corners in really stupid places.
This looks like a 10-year-old game.
Yeah.
Maybe older.
No, that's what everyone's been saying about Pokemon since they transitioned to 3D, is that it looks like an old, like these look like PS2 level graphics.
You know what? I wonder if they because the Switch 2 is around the corner. I wonder what would have happened. Maybe okay. I'm thinking like maybe this is like as much as this Switch can take, like the first Switch. What if this is like the lowest, LOD settings?
I'm telling you this right now. This gameplay is not coming from a Switch.
Oh, it's not.
Like this gameplay. There's no way they're recording this from a Switch, or they're just recording this directly out of whatever.
This is on a 5090.
This is on a 5090 probably.
What?
Like this is their chance to have actually like shown something really nice. No. And there's no way this is not going to be a Switch 2 title. Right? They're not.
Right.
They're not dual. And I do not believe for a second that they're going to dual release this on Switch and Switch 2. There's no.
You think this is just going to be?
The Switch comes out in the summer. Wait. I might be lying about that.
Switch 2?
Switch 2. No, do we have a release date for the Switch 2?
I don't think we do. We'll find out in April, probably.
So, yeah. So, this is coming out. Switch 2. No, someone said, I think, late Q3. But I think that might have been a leak. But this is coming out holiday this year.
It's safe to say that this will be on Switch 2.
I think it's safe to say it's going to be on Switch 2. My wonder is if it's going to be dual releasing. That would now be... Excuse me, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Legends Arceus would be 4 different Pokemon games that have come out on Switch now. I don't think they're putting this one out there. And the white boys are doing something.
I don't know what.
I'm making Izzy laugh.
I noticed.
But I don't know. It's like
switch to these nuts, and then I just made prolonged eye contact with Izzy.
Yep.
But I don't know, maybe because it's like, what if they're downgrading the graphics so that they could dual release?
That doesn't.
I think that's a really stupid. Even if that's true, I'm saying even if that's true, it's stupid to do that for the fucking trailer.
Yeah, it is.
Don't do that for the trailer. Make the trailer. No, it's just legit. Like Game Freak is so fucking behind the curve when it comes to graphics. And
see, I'm trying to give them something, but it's not
Have
landing.
You seen Breath of the Wild?
Yeah,
right. Like Breath of the Wild has been around since 2017. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But I have fun with the Pokemon games, and that to me matters more than whether they look great or not. They can look so much better. There's no reason that they don't, other than a lot of dinosaurs within Pokemon are just afraid of. It's almost everything I hear that comes out of Game Freak and Pokemon Co. is literally just like older like execs are just for whatever reason have this culture of fear around changing anything. So we like the fact that we're even getting the Legend series and like having Game Freak Team B able to even like do this style of game is a miracle in and of itself. Getting like, so trying to get them to like upgrade the graphics at the same time is asking too much, right?
Get the mechanics this time, and maybe we get the graphics.
They'll keep letting us get the mechanics. Personally, I think they need to let Game Freak Team B become the main development team, because the Legend series has been, and I say this as someone who has still enjoyed like Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. The Legend series is what people have been wanting for a long time with Pokemon. And
you're saying this is Team B doing this?
This is Team B. It's for, if it holds the same from Legends Arceus, Game Freak Development Team B is the one who did the Legends, is doing the Legends games. You were about to say something, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, like, just from this paused screenshot, look to the left building. Look at the balconies.
I don't think I can see them in the glare.
You mean the flat ass? Not
yes.
Actually, their balconies.
Is that
like
just the texture?
Yes, it's like the longer you look at some of this, the worse it gets.
Yeah, they're cutting corners fucking everywhere, and they do this all the goddamn time. And I can guarantee you they're doing it so they don't have to lower the frame rate on the Pokemon, even though they kind of don't have to do that anyway. But
it's just
the Pokemons are just spheres.
Squished and pulled.
Well, I don't know what their current models look like, but one of the reasons that they had to cut the Pokedex when they moved from the 3DS to the Switch is because it came to fucking light that their goddamn models were so dense, like unnecessarily dense.
So they're
Like,
just terribly optimized
they're
models.
so bad optimized. I don't know what these ones look like yet because I think they're actually pulling models that the Niantic team did for Pokemon Go.
Oh, really?
I remember like when they were fleshing out the Pokemon Home stuff and the Sword and Shield games, they found out that they were using those models from Pokemon Go.
Wait, were the ones on the 3DS more tridents than the ones that...
They were so unnecessarily dense. Like a single Pokemon was like 300 to 600 polys or some shit like that. They were not optimized at all. They were like sculpted and put into the game. Yeah. It was sculpted leaves and trees all over again.
Oh no. No.
That's why those games, like those games got away with like the fact that it was a top-down view that kind of really wrangled in what you could see and like just simplifying everything around it. There was a reason why like you would get into battles and if you had anything more than like 4 Pokemon on screen at one time in a double battle, or if you had anything more than like 3 in a double battle, your frame rate would just drop to like fucking 20 frames a second. And it was like, oh, as it turns out, it's because there's a couple trillion polys on the screen right now. That's why I couldn't put them in the fucking Switch game. Is like, I enjoy the Pokemon games. I enjoy the Pokemon games. I enjoy playing the Pokemon games.
Oh, yeah.
I love playing
Fucking
Pokemon.
Christ, I want anyone other than Game Freak to make them. Just let someone else build your fucking game for you. Let them do the art. Let them do the environment. Let them like figure out the actual like environment engine. And y'all just come up with Pokemon. Like, let someone else take over on this shit.
Call Pal World developers.
Call up Power World developers, right? I don't think they're ever going to work with them.
No.
They should. If you were smart, you would fucking work with them and let them like... I'm sorry, a really weird thing just happened. You did that, and I heard it from behind my head.
Oh.
So at first I thought our sub pump was running, and I was like, why is it so high pitched?
That's why it fucked me up. I was like, what is that octave? Why do I know that?
Why do I, right?
I was like, why do I know that noise? That noise is at a pitch that I know.
Yeah, that's so weird. Sorry.
You just did a perfect imitation of our sump pump.
You really did. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
If it runs, it hasn't run in a while.
It should be running right
It
now.
really should
It's real
be.
wet out there.
I'm now very worried.
I'm really wet out there.
Nobody fucking asked.
Okay.
Have you been in the basement lately? Do you need a boat?
We probably should go.
I was there last night.
Okay. Okay. We might have a flooded basement. We'll go see. Nah. What were you about to say?
Oh, I don't know if I would choose
The Power World
Power
developers?
World
No.
people for improvement.
If I had to pick somebody, it wouldn't be Power World. But I do think, based off of everything we've seen so far, it probably will be better than Game Freak.
I think they should get Blizzard to do it.
Just AI generated textures.
Just AI generate all of it. Yeah, no.
Or EA, just microtransactions every 5 steps.
This little moment here shows off something very interesting.
Pokemon loot boxes.
Every time
That's a thing somewhere, right?
Every time you use the PC to store your Pokemon, there's an ad playing in the side.
That's going to be reality someday, and I'm going to blame all of you for it.
Heard it here first, folks.
Nintendo's like,
You know, as much as the executives not wanting to change stuff makes us deal with this shit, it probably also keeps us from dealing
With some of that shit.
some of that shit.
Right. Yeah. But we'll see.
Well, the Pokeball chairs are kind of cute now that I see them up
They are
close.
very cute.
This really is straight out of Wii Sports.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, look how faceted these rounded chairs are.
It feels like something about just like the art direction and some of the incohesiveness is like those Barbie horse games.
Yeah.
It gives that kind of vibe,
Yeah.
like quality wise.
I'd be curious to know what the poly count of the character, like the player characters are.
It's probably still pretty dense.
Well, yeah, because like in contrast, like you made a good point with the faceting of the chairs,
Right.
And like all the texture shit happening, and then you look at the character and it's like smooth. Like,
Which, like, yeah, it's your character model should be the most dense thing about you, and like
it makes
the
sense.
The Pokemon models should be dense. Like, I'm not even saying that they shouldn't be, right? But you
But
gotta
optimize
it. You have to, like, that 3DS like ultra high poly model thing was the most obvious. Like, y'all don't know how to optimize and retopo a character model, do y'all? Y'all don't have anyone on your team that knows how to actually do 3D shit, because even though y'all made the decision to jump to 3D, y'all didn't think that, maybe we should probably make sure our team is trained and fleshed out with actual 3D artists to know what the fuck they're doing. No, we're just going to force the usual artists to learn how to do more advanced techniques, and in some cases not even force them to do it. Right? Like, so and that's, I feel like that's why Game Freak is so fucking far behind the curve when it comes to that, because they're forcing people to start learning new shit instead of bringing in talent or consultants that can train like and do shit for them. It's gnarly. Back to some positives though.
Term limits.
It's Pokemon.
It is Pokemon. There's a positive. It looks like they got rid of. It looks like, I don't know this for certain, and we don't have a full confirmation on it, but it looks like they allow you to actually take the HP to 0 and still catch a Pokemon, instead of having to do the really stupid. You gotta keep it at 1 or above to catch it.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a really nice quality of life update. That is.
I don't care for a lot of the UI stuff they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Specifically down in the corner there with the attacks.
Yeah. What about it in particular? Are you not feeling?
It feels like it's taking up too much space for the information it conveys. If I had to put a name on it.
There's not a real reason to have.
And then I also don't think I care for the style either.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think I'd say the same feedback for the list of stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it needs to be that big. Like, I'd take that feedback and put it on that instead.
Oh yeah,
if that makes sense.
I can definitely see it. It feels kind of cluttered. I wonder if, because the action is now you're in the action, if it'll draw your attention away from it well enough that it's not too big a bother. But
like, especially if you're trying to, like, if the whole thing is like, oh, it's dynamic, you're running around, like, you need screen space.
You do.
You know?
It seems like the battles are still a arena style, so you're never like leaving any specific area.
Yeah.
I'm a little curious.
Then they had to go in and put a Parsec logo on the screen. Like,
yeah, they're definitely.
Fuck?
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, they're definitely closing you off to some degrees. Like, doing battles like on top of roofs and buildings like really shows off that you can get into battles just about anywhere.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. There's something here, so I'm gonna go right back to complaining about animations though.
That Onyx is way too small.
It is. Keep an eye on this little fire lion thing when she lets out her flamethrower.
What fire lion?
Oh, where's it? It's just coming from the chest.
Yeah. That's been another big complaint, especially with the 3D games. And there was actually another moment that showed it off even better.
It's just like a generic location.
It's just the attacks come from very generic locations. Like right here, you see her turn her head towards you and it doesn't move with it. And that's been another thing that a lot of people have been really upset about, because, myself included, because, like, I get it. There are a lot of Pokemon models that you would have to create special animations and kind of move the things around. But you're fucking Game Freak. You're not. Pokemon is just only the most profitable video game title on the face of the fucking planet.
In turn,
you can put a socket on it.
Put a fucking socket on it and call it a day.
I was just about to say, can't you just like program either a socket or just shift the beam start location up a couple like units or something?
Yeah, you super could. You could just put it on a fucking socket. But it's like, it's one of those things of like, does it take away from the gameplay? No. But Game Freak should be one of the most, Pokemon should be one of the most highly polished titles we've ever fucking seen. Mm-hmm. And every year we get reminded that, like, yeah, no, they're just not, for whatever fucking reason. And was it, I want to say it was Game Freak or Pokemon Co's CEO was talking about how they want to always be pushing the envelope forward to keep themselves from getting stale. It's like, I want you to want that, but I need you to want it for real. I need you to actually fucking want it.
I need you to contextualize that within modern game development technology instead of just like what you were capable of understanding.
Yeah. It's the reason I say a lot of people, I haven't heard this in recent years, but I also haven't really been looking for the conversation anymore. People used to really go like, oh, I just want the 2D games again. We want HD 2D and like that kind of shit, right? And I'm like, no, you don't. Not because you don't want it, but because you think that that's going to fix a lot of the problems that Game Freak we've seen out of Game Freak. And all you're going to learn is that Game Freak has always been bad.
It's not that you want this, that you know 3D game not good, want better, old game good, old game answer?
Old game not answer because you're either going to get one of two things, right? You're either going to get a Pokemon game that looks exactly like the old shit and it looks nothing different, and nobody wants that on the Switch. Like, I do not want upscaled Pokemon Black and White. Like, you should be able to do better than this. And what you're going to get is Game Freak's attempt at Octopath Traveler, and it's going to look like shit. It's not going to look good because it's just revealing that Game Freak has always been a subpar game development company. Like, it always has been. Like, if you look at the old Pokemon games, so there's the 3D shit we just talked about. There's the fact that they would have, when they wanted to give a character a different facial expression, instead of just swapping the texture on the fucking model, they had 5 fucking copies of the same character just hidden off screen.
Wait, what?
And would just zoop it into place. So there was a character named Lily, one of the travel companion characters for your main character in Sun and Moon. And when she, in cutscenes, when she would be talking, and sometimes she would be speaking like with a smile on her face or a frown or whatever the fuck, they would just have another model with that expression and speaking with that expression, and they would just move it into place and would keep all the other ones off screen.
Weird.
It was like, are you fucking serious, bro? Really? That's what we're doing?
Well, even like the way that like the texel density doesn't match with the Pokemon in battle that's closest to you is like enlarged pixels. And the further away one is normal pixel size.
Right. And then like, even if you start getting into like the older games and you realize like literally like people, I've joked about this before. People joke about this all the time. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow were literally held together by the dreams of a dying child. Like, those games were so badly put together. It is a marvel that Pokemon became the world force that it is now. Like, those games were so fucking shoddy. If you like really started like looking into the code and the background and like how things were actually put together, there's like at least 5 different instances of like just mechanics just not working the way it's intended, and that people just like kind of went past and you never knew until like years later. Like Ghost type did not work correctly just at all, and it got away with it because there was only 3 main Ghost types and no actual like Ghost moves to even care about. Ghost was supposed to be super effective against Psychic and was supposed to be like your counter to Psychic types, except Ghost moves didn't do that. Like, so people just never knew. Like, it took a long time before people realized that Ghost is in fact good against Psychic, and that's why the anime said Ghost types are good against Psychic types, because they're supposed to be good against Psychic types, and they just never were.
And no one knew.
And nobody knew because the game said otherwise, but turns out just a programming oversight never got fixed or corrected. Certain flying moves just did not work correctly. Like, they did not work as flying moves. They were just normal type moves.
Oh,
with
damn.
the flying type on it.
So it didn't get any advantages?
Didn't get any of the advantages they were supposed to get. Not every flying type move, some of them did. I forget which ones. Just other stuff of like Pokemon would have typings, but like programmer oversight would just ignore certain typings on them and shit like that.
Damn.
Like, legit, that game was held together with strings and paper clips. It was really bad. To the point that when Gold, Silver, and Crystal was in development, Satoru Iwata went to Pokemon Co. and was able to optimize the game so much. That's why we were able to get Kanto onto that cart with the Gold Silver Crystal map, The reason there's a whole second part of that game is because Iwata was like, there's a lot of just unnecessary use space here.
This stuff
and he was able to fit a whole
garbage.
second region onto the goddamn cart. It was nuts. And that's just been their history for a long time that people didn't know about. And it's just like, yeah, no, Game Freak has never really been that great of a game development company. They just have really good game design ideas. And now have the money and backing to like fucking putter them bitches over the finish line. And I still enjoy them. And that's the fucked up part. And that's like the thing of the whole deal is like, I know they're built like shit. I know this is like the worst thing to be coming out of like the biggest video game franchise in the world, but I still enjoy playing them. And so I continue to play them.
This hot garbage tastes so good.
It tastes so good. Like
it's almost like it has a place in your heart.
It does. It does have a place. It has a special place in my heart.
There's
And it's also
There's
why
nothing wrong with still liking it.
Right? I don't think there's anything wrong with me liking it. It's why I go so hard
No,
on
video
it.
games are meritocracy.
Yep. That's meritocracy the exact way our society is. As long as you have money, it doesn't fucking matter what your merit is. Like, it's the reason I go so hard on Pokemon is because I love the Pokemon series. Like, I love Pokemon, and I know what this could be. I have seen, like, you can't blame it on the Switch anymore. You can't blame it on the hardware because we've seen what can be done with the hardware. Yeah, is it the most powerful console on this the block? No, absolutely not. But we've seen Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And we've seen what like can be done on a Switch. There's no reason this can't be done on a Switch and look good and look like there's not just a bunch of boxes all over the place and hard edges, right? There's no fucking reason.
Well, like, to be clear, this shot
looks fine when you're just looking at it.
but
When you
then
stare at it.
Dated.
But then you get closer and the textures don't up-res.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
That shot is even egregious. The like, go back like 5 seconds.
The little thing crawling.
Yeah.
I don't know why I picked the 20-minute like whole Pokemon present. I really could have just grabbed just the
I think you could even see.
and I will still say this water and the sand and the Pokemon interactions, they look good. The animations look good and they do like look at each other and shit. But
just the interaction with the environment.
Well, give me
no
some splashes,
foam, no
give me
splashing, no anything extra.
Fucking put a texture.
Right.
like that right there. Like,
Yeah. That little thing crawling.
Scarlet and
Put a fucking
Violet.
plane on the surface of the water. You can't figure it out. Like,
Yeah. Like there's so many things you could do. Even though in Scarlet and Violet, like the water damn near crashes the game anytime you're around it.
I was just reading Scarlet and Violet sold in 2022 approximately $1.44 billion.
Yeah, it was the highest grossing Pokemon game to date. It was the highest selling Pokemon game to date. Like it's like I said, my complaint is more
We can't take some of those resources.
we can't take like
A few mil?
you can't just take some of that money and just put it into extra resources. What are y'all so fucking afraid of? You're still Pokemon. But people say is like, why would you change it if you don't have to? And that's what we're dealing with is a exec team of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even though people are going like this, like, so even though it could be better, it's still doing fine. So
why go the extra mile? When it's not even an extra mile.
No,
really.
it's just like modernize your shit and get like some modern game design practices
Right.
in your fucking studio. Train your goddamn like people so that they can actually like create a modern game. This looks great as a Wii U launch title. Like, like this looks
We maybe.
even like this looks great for Pokemon, but does not look great as a game.
Yeah.
Like if you take in the whole landscape, this should look so much better than it does.
I wonder what would like if you showed this trailer like to people who I don't know, like what would people think that this would be released on? You know what I mean? Like you just showed the trailer
Right.
and they weren't really familiar with maybe Pokemon. They weren't familiar with the different consoles.
It'd be
or
a hard
whatever.
Venn diagram to find people to fit, but if you could, like you ask them, like you have knowledge enough of games that appeared on different console eras, but you have no knowledge of Pokemon. What console did you think this game came out on?
Right, and what year?
I'd be interested in hearing that too.
If you asked Miyamoto to take a peek, see,
I'm really curious if they ever get like Miyamoto or any of the other like Nintendo execs on, and because like I'd be really curious like what Miyamoto would say, like if he had a chance to be like consultant or co-director, on this shit, right? Yeah, but you bring in $600 billion a fucking year, so who's gonna tell you what at that point, right?
May as well just pocket the extra and just keep pushing out.
The franchise itself makes like $10 billion a year,
right?
So
the fuck you gotta do? Because what the fuck can I say? I'm the greedy little piggy that's gonna be playing this bitch when it comes out. Like I'm probably gonna pre-order the more than likely Switch 2 edition, Pokemon ZA edition, Switch 2 or whatever. No, they probably wouldn't do a ZA edition. They'll probably put some shit out. I'm probably gonna pre-order ZA and get whatever special bullshit they put out with it. I am the motherfucker that's gonna be. I'm the problem. I am the problem. Because at the end of the day, I do have fun with it, and like even with Scarlet and Violet, I can, as much as I can say it looks like shit, I still have fun playing it, and I can get past it. It doesn't look so bad that it's just like completely taking me out of playing it. And
I mean, yeah, like graphics aren't everything, but still.
But it's still the principle of the matter of I know how much better y'all, just off money alone, how much money you have to throw at this that you should be throwing at it. But yeah. So yeah, that is the Legends EA announcement back from Pokemon, because it was Pokemon Day is always February 27th. That was the day the original Red, Blue, and Yellow were released in Japan. And so that's when they usually make their really big announcements for the year and stuff like this. So
what are people saying about it? Like in the comments?
Pretty much same.
The
game
first
out in
comment.
the finished state. Yeah. We can finally have our Pokemon dodge moves. Like, so most people are talking about the dodging. It's been pretty positive reception for the most part. I think we're in a situation right now where most Pokemon fans are like, we've just accepted that it's always going to be like 10 years behind the curve graphically, and we only really talk about the gameplay and the what's the word? Because I keep wanting to say the world. Like just the little intricacies of like how the Pokemon interact within the world and how they show up, shit like that. Like, so it's on that merit is a really positive response, but people have also, when they do turn to negatives, it's just about how this could look so much better and it just doesn't. That's pretty much been it. So, all right. That's all I got. Let's take one more break and then hop into some audio books. Books. We're right back.
Return of the Runebound Professor. I have listened through the third book.
Hell yeah. Is that the most recent one then?
It is the most recent one that's available in audio form. Based off of the parentheses here, it says book 6 stubbed. It looks like they probably have book 6 out in print form.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I gotta say, I was so impressed with this book.
Oh, yeah?
I enjoyed the ever-living fuck out of it. I was kind of avoiding going back to this because every book series so far I've binged it and I haven't like come back to one, and I wasn't sure if I would like remember where things were, pick up with the characters very well, the story. And the story from what I remember was tense, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to jump back in that tension yet. And I'm so fucking glad I did. It was so good. There are so many things that they did that I just really loved. But yeah, and when it got to the end of the book, I was so pissed because I just wanted more. I just wanted more of the book. I wanted more of the story. I wanted more of the characters. I wanted more. I wanted more of the conflict. I wanted to see what was going on and what was going to happen next.
How dare you leave me unsated?
And I was in like it was I think 2024. Yep, that's the noise.
What did it play again?
Sorry. Yeah.
What was the Runebound Professor, like the premise?
Okay. I'm sorry. I should.
I was gonna say, yeah. Let's give us a refresher. Lives are a currency, and Noah Vines is rich. Reincarnated into the body of a poisoned magic school professor, Noah is given more than just a second chance at life. Every time he dies, his body reforms with infinite variations of runic magic to discover, and with death as a painful soul wound rather than a final end, Noah finally has a chance to wander the lands of the living once again. And this time he plans to get strong enough to make sure that he never has to wait around in the afterlife again. I remember part of this.
Yeah, this is the one where we start with our MC waiting in the line to reincarnate.
It is for like 10,000 or something.
Yeah, for like 10,000, stupid amount of time. And, you know, a really indeterminate amount of time because, like, at a certain point, you don't really know how long you're spending. It's just like an endless. And as he's going to get reincarnated, two gods fight. He gets sucked in and he pulls some of those gods' power with him. When he gets reincarnated into Magic Land with his memories because of the hijinks, memories of his time on Earth, and 10,000 in the trauma of spending 10,000 years in a line. So, yeah, in the first couple books, we start to see his journey. We start to see some conflicts. I'm trying to figure out how to discuss this without going into spoilers, or how far I should go into spoilers, how soon. But I think I'm just going to jump right in.
I was going to say, I think we've talked about it before, so at this point we're just doing an instant.
Yeah.
Spoilers incoming in 3, 2, 1.
So yeah, we pick back up at spring break after we have been, or spring break, summer break. So our two professors have been. We've gotten through the school year. We've gotten everybody their exams. There are some problems that need to be resolved over the summer, but our professors, our main character, and the other professor, Moxie, go off and they're going to do their own thing for the summer. The kids get picked up by an old family friend who's like, all right, I'm going to look after these kids because I owe a debt to their dead parents. And I'm going to help them out over the summer. And it starts off, there's with like a little bit of a mystery. Like there's a cat. We still don't really know what's going on with the cat at the end of the book. But the cat's kind of like being an ominous presence. And we're going off and we're adventuring and we're exploring the runes. And so like, and then a little ways into the book, we find out that Moxie has been recalled to her family. Which doesn't sound that bad. It doesn't sound that bad. But what that means is that she's basically lived out her usefulness for her task, which was guarding this and educating this girl, Emily. She's going to be recalled and she's going to be killed because she knows, because she's failed to guide Emily in the way that the family wants her to. She failed at her task. She knows too much. She's lived out her usefulness. There's no way she's surviving.
She left the Amish community.
Outcast.
And so we have to figure out what the fuck we're going to do about this. Because the person who's going to kill her is like a powerhouse that our characters can't touch.
Who is this character that...
Who is this professor? Who's Moxie?
Moxie is...
Are they human?
They're human.
Love interest?
They are love interests. I was going to get to that.
Yeah, hold your fucking horse.
Damn, I'm sorry. My bad.
So I just wanted to give a sort of like an overview of the plot before I got into some of the specific things they did, like the romance of the book that they did that I really enjoyed. And then I'm not going to go through specifically how they resolve it, but they resolve it in through like wit and tactics, and they like figure it out in a way that's like believable, takes advantage of the character's growth, and like shows off what they're learning and being good at, but isn't like show them accomplishing some like stupid impossible feat. And they successfully navigate that scenario. And it's so good. And then they go to retrieve a treasure from the family catacombs of our main character's family. And in doing so, they catch the attention of the head of the family, who is a powerhouse. And that's where we leave off at the end of the book.
Damn.
And you're like, well, what the fuck's going to happen now?
And you said that was the last that was audio booked? Like the fourth book isn't an audio format yet?
Third book isn't an audiobook format yet. Or sorry, yeah, fourth book isn't an audiobook format yet. I don't know when it'll be coming out. And this book, actually, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
First thing I'll get into is something I haven't really been touching on with these audiobooks that this book made me realize I should be talking about a little bit more, is the performance of the person that's reading it.
Yeah.
This book, the performance, there were some moments in it where I was like, whoo! That they
Chills down the spine.
Chills down the spine. Like, they did this thing where, so there are these two very distinct characters. There's these two, I forget what her name is. I think, give me a second. Sorry.
Okay.
So our main character, they have a companion by the name of Lee, right?
Lee?
Lee. Lee is a demon.
Lee. You didn't catch it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lee.
Yeah.
Lee.
Okay.
All right.
Lee.
They came through when Noah was reincarnated. I'm not going to review all this, go back over all the shenanigans that happened there because it's a whole thing.
Go back to the episode where we talked about it.
Yeah.
If we did. I don't even know if I remember.
And then there's another demon by the name of, they call him Azul. We don't know what his true name is, but they call him Azul. They are inhabiting the same body, and there's this moment where they're speaking and they go from the voice of Lee into the voice of Azul, and they transition directly from this like female voice into this like really grovelly like demon demonic voice.
Okay.
It is so smooth and it's
Like-
so well executed.
And do they voice act this transition, or is it edited into this transition?
I wouldn't be able to tell with this distinctly like which one they do, but it sounds to me like they voice act it.
Nice.
Like they
got that range.
Like they go from here to here. And,
Nice.
Wow.
And like it's at this moment where they're like threatening another character, and it like holds the tension, and it's such a cool moment. And it made me really realize just how talented the performance of the person who's performing this is, and just how good they are at
Their craft.
yeah. It's just
Is it the same person throughout all of the books so
Yes.
far?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Which I think that's generally how these audiobooks have gone, where it's just one.
Yeah, typically
right
it's the same person throughout the whole thing. If, it's not guaranteed that they go from the... I've seen some authorial announcements that they seem very excited to have the same person come back and
Nice.
continuing the role of the character, but I've yet to encounter a series where that's not the case. But so it's my understanding there probably is like a renewed contract.
Right.
But anyways, I think their name is Ramon de Campo.
This is Juan.
Recorded Books presents Return of the Runebound Professor 3, a progression fantasy series by Actus, narrated by Ramon de Campo.
Dio Campo. Play that again for me one more time. The beginning part.
This is Audible. Recorded Books presents Return of the Runebound Professor.
Okay, listen to him say return again.
Return.
It's like either like he started saying it, tripped up his words, but caught it halfway through, or is incredibly nervous. Return.
Yeah, he does such a good job with this. With this
Was that Ramon?
That
was
Ramon.
okay.
Yeah, when I first listened to the first book, I wasn't quite sure about his voice because it's a little different, but he does a really good job.
Nice.
The only complaint I would have is he kind of has the same voice for old men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so like there's one old man in particular by the name of Father.
Daddy.
It's just Father.
Not even Pop.
We don't know what he was called. He's called Father. And he's fucking scary.
Oh yeah.
Ramon does a really good job of making him very scary, and then in universe he's also very scary because he's like a schemer, right?
Oh, okay.
You never know what he's thinking. You never know what he's gonna do, but you know he's always planning something.
Okay.
Right. And so just his existence is extremely menacing, and mostly because he is, in addition to his moniker of Father, he is our character's father, biological father.
So he is Daddy.
So he is Daddy. We're tied to him in multiple ways.
Vader.
But then you have another old man character come up, and you're like, wait, is this Father having a conversation? But it's not.
Oh,
it's somebody else.
Oh no.
So,
okay.
Is it the benevolent old man?
Yeah.
So you're saying that's just like his old man voice?
He just has
it's his menacing old man
voice.
voice, and you're like, oh. I had a similar experience when I was listening to, because Mark of the Fool is narrated by the same person that does Primal Hunter, and so the Valestramaz, the god, the Maleficent Viper, the patron god of our main character, is this snake guy voice. And then there's a snake main character in Mark of the Fool, and I'm like, what
is he doing here?
What's Valestramaz doing here? What's going on?
I just can't wait to get all his old man characters in one scene together and just confuse the fuck out of all of the listeners.
I think we should let him go. I think we should kill him.
Wait, huh?
Yeah. And it's... yeah, and then I also really appreciated how Actus's writing has evolved.
Oh yeah,
because I talked about it a couple weeks ago. The Rise of the Living Forge,
yes,
is also written by Actus.
Ooh.
And the Rise of the Living Forge is good, right? I had a really good time with it. I enjoyed it. Rise of the Living Forge is nowhere near as good as Return of the Runebound Professor has been so far.
Fair.
Like I love the like Enemies to Lovers, other stuff with the Living Forge is really fun.
He's got a lot.
He does have a fucking lot. I did not know he had so many.
Yeah.
He's written. I've gotten Eldritch Horror, the Chef one, and I think that one is it Gleam?
Gleam, right? Where did I just see it? I just saw it right
All
here.
been recommended to me on Audible.
Nice.
Huh.
I might check those out.
Morcster Chef is the one that kind of caught my eye a little bit here.
Yeah.
Just gonna detour. We'll be right back to. Is it just an orc who's a chef, or is this?
I think so. I don't know. We can find out. It might be the next series I visit.
Adventurous flock is a massive crypts. Adventurers flock to massive crypts brimming with riches and promises of power. Heroes storm the gates of dark fortresses, their swords drawn in the name of freedom. Gods tear the heavens asunder, clashing over the fate of the realm itself. Arek cooks a lasagna and tops it with a dash of finely chopped basil. Arek never wanted to fight again, but his plans have gone awry in the best way possible. After joining the Happy... I know who my next D&D character is going to be. After joining the Happy Sunflowers as their cook, Arek quickly grew attached to his new friends and party. After escaping a strange dungeon by the skin of their teeth, the group finds themselves plunged into a struggle for power that has simmered beneath the kingdom for dozens of years. The strange power that has entered Arek and Ming seems to be spreading to the rest of the party, and none of them know what it wants. Arek's past barks at his heels, but he has no plans of going back to the person he used to be. The future seems uncertain, but there is one thing the orc knows for sure. He has meals to prepare, and this time nobody is going to kill his friends. All the recipes in this book are real recipes that I personally made. The actual recipes will be included at the end of the chapter, and I highly encourage everyone reading to try them out. In addition, make sure to check out the Morcster Chef comic at this link. That's really fucking sick. And it's a webtoon series.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sick.
Okay.
Yeah, if you end up getting around to this one, you got to let us know.
I will.
Why is there 2 entries?
I think... Well,
Hiatus and stub. What does that mean?
I don't know. There might be different pages for like marketing or like landing pages.
This is the webtoon. The comic. So yeah, this is the webtoon literally just released on Royal Road.
That makes sense.
Well, hell yeah. Steamforged Sorcerer, a steampunk lit RPG.
One of those, if you scroll down a little bit, that is the actress. That's the cover they use on Audible for Morcster Chef.
Oh, this one?
No, the one with him in the hat.
Oh, Morcster. This is also. I did not realize that was also Morcster Chef. Makes sense though.
Cleaver's Edge, Morcster Chef, Book 1.
I really like this premise, and am very interested in hearing more about it. Back to our regularly scheduled audiobook BS.
Yeah. And one of the things I really appreciated is how they handled the romance in this book. Because it's been kind of brimming under the surface in the first 2 books, but it seemed like nobody was going to do anything about it. And then they finally do something about it. Because it comes to a head in a very sweet way, where Moxie does a very nice gesture for our main character by getting him a violin, right?
Nice.
And in doing so, right, she goes to like somebody who's like an extremely talented craftsman that she knows through family connections. And she helps out with the imbuement, and some of her feelings for him get put in this imbuement. And so when he accepts it, he feels those feelings, and then they decide to date. Well, they make out, and then they decide to start dating.
And then they fuck.
But it's like, it's really
sweet.
It is sweet, and it's 2 people who don't know how to express themselves, learning to express themselves to each other. I think it's done in a very realistic way without like dragging shit out.
Yeah.
Right. But them also confronting each other with their emotions.
And it didn't do the thing of, I don't want to say trauma bonding. Like, a lot of stories do this. One of the stories I was listening to you read did this kind of, where all the characters have to go through this really traumatic battle or some kind of experience, and that leads to the romance and or the just straight guttural animal fucking.
We might die, so
I love you.
I love you.
We're gonna deal with this if we make it out of it alive, or just like, even if they get through the battle without that, it's like emotions are at such a heightened level that the passion just kind of takes over, kind of thing. Which like I don't hate. Like I don't really mind it too much, but it's nice to see. It's nice to see like I did this really nice gesture for a person I care about. The whole the feelings, like a physical manifestation of feelings, and it is. Yeah, that's what you're gonna get in the fantasy book. Yeah. But it's nice to see like I did this thing, and their appreciation for it has blossomed into something more now that we've been able to get our feelings out there.
Yeah. And it's really nice. And something else they are just like not doing is like any it's a prime situation for a love triangle plot, because our main character, our male protagonist, has 2 female companions they're traveling with, right? Lee the demon and Moxie. Lee is emotionally stunted, and it would not be appropriate to have any like romantic plot with them, but it's a fantasy book,
so you're gonna get whatever you
never
get.
really know what the fuck the author's going to do with that until you watch how they handle it. And it's very clear that as Lee like learns more about emotions and like how to handle stuff, she's very clear. She's like, they're my friends. She's like, I care about them a lot, but they're my friends. I'm happy for them, but they're my friends.
Me thinks the lady doth protest too much.
Well, me thinks the lady was confronted by a demon who's trying to push her to do bad shit. And so she's like, fuck you, they're my friends.
Fair enough.
But it's... I couldn't have been happier with this book, especially after coming off of the
The one from last week?
Yeah. System Universe.
Yeah.
It just made me appreciate this book just that much more. And it also made me realize that I think the performance was also part of what was weakening System Universe. Not that that was like the only problem, but just that the performance was also just okay. Right.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's funny enough. We have not talked too much about performances until this point.
And so that's something I'm going to try to pay more attention to going forward. And speaking of which, after I finished The Return of the Runebound Professor, which was great, I would absolutely recommend checking it out, I decided to read Defiance of the Fall.
He decided to indulge. I just wanted to say engulf so bad. He decided to indulge his male power fantasy.
I mean, if you look at any of the Defiance of the Fall, like if you just go to Google real quick, because I want to see if they have some of the other cover arts available. So I want you to see what I was looking at in Audible when I was looking at the thing.
Oh my!
Yeah, like it's all these. That one right there, the first one that pops up actually.
This one
is what I was looking at in the book. This one, the one that always pops up. That cover art.
That's just Kratos.
It is. It's just Kratos. It's some crazy fucking demon shit.
Sexy, hot.
The nipples light up.
They are lighting up the nips.
Rough. The nipples are lighting up. This Defiance of the Fall.
You gotta read it.
It's so like stylized. It sets off so many red flags for me. It's like it sets off all the red flags. This has been hovering in my recommended from day one, right? And I have not touched it because it just looks like the quintessential male power fantasy in like the most boring possible fashion. Not interesting at all.
Right. This one gives me Journey to the West vibes that I kind of like. Like I'd be more in tune to watch this one. Like this, I don't know, something about it, specifically the bare feet. It gives me like Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's kind of the so I was like, fuck it. I read System Universe. I'm gonna read Defiance of the Fall. And let me tell you, I'm glad I did.
Hell yeah.
It is so good. It is never going to beat the male power fantasy accusations. Allegations like that. Like, I'm not like, look, that's what's going on in the book.
Right. It is what it is.
It's not like some like gratuitous. It's not like fuck. What's the one with Vince where he like fucks the assassin? You know what? That's terrible.
I was about to say I don't think I know this one. Do I know
who's
this one?
Who's the guy who played Aragorn in Lord of the Rings?
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen. If I remember correctly, it was Viggo Mortensen. He's playing some like badass assassin, where he's just walking around. People are trying to kill him, and he's in a truck, and he's like real good at stuff. And I don't know. That was whenever I think of a quintessential like gratuitous male fantasy, that's what I think of, because the whole point of that movie was that he's old but he's badass and he fucks.
Which, and honestly, sometimes I just enjoy that shit.
Yeah,
but it's like it's the biggest issue with like male power fantasy is like I don't think it's that any of us hate male power fantasies, is that they're generally very contrived.
Yeah, they're contrived and vacuous.
Yeah,
and this is like. I enjoy lit RPG. For all its flaws, I really enjoy the format. I enjoy the imagination. I enjoy the expansive universes, right?
Like for anyone not watching right now, which one you should be, but we're looking at a cover of a book in which there's I'm assuming your main protagonist holding a bloodied axe, covered in blood, shaved head, with two other male companions behind him. One of them is clearly a demon. The other's an old dude with the pack on his back. I guess he's the pack mule of the group, standing in front of a tree that has nothing but dead bodies hanging from it. It's as like action hero-y as it gets.
Yeah,
pretty much. And you know, for all its flaws, I love a story like that. But this reading Defiance of the Fall is, for somebody who enjoys lit RPGs, is like watching John Wick. For somebody who likes reading, for like watching action movies.
Okay.
It is so good. Right. There's so much. The performance is very, very good on the audiobook. But the pacing, the tension, the conflict is incredible.
Nice.
Right. I can't stress how much I've enjoyed reading this. It puts it's like having the universe of Primal Hunter with the tension and the conflict that you see in something like Return of the Runebound Professor. It has been an incredibly fun read. Do you want to read the premise real quick?
I sure can. Zack was alone in the middle of the forest when the world changed. The whole planet was introduced to the multiverse by an unfeeling system, or God. A universe where an endless number of races and civilizations fought for power and dominion. Zack finds himself stuck in the wilderness, surrounded by deadly beasts, demons, and worse. Alone, lost, and without answers, he must find the means to survive and get stronger in this new cutthroat reality. With only a hatchet for his weapon, he'll have to seek out his family before the world collapses or die trying. It's extremely action movie.
Extremely action movie, extremely generic. You're like, okay. But I knew that this was, I had a pretty good inkling that this was going to be good when I was listening to it. I can't remember the specific word they used, but they used some my dad was an English teacher. I've read a lot of books throughout my whole life. There aren't a lot of words I don't recognize when I read them. Right? It's not every day somebody drops Brobdingnagius on you and you're like, what the hell's going on? What did you just say to me? And when
a feeling me and him are having right now.
You just look it up.
What? I don't even remember what you said.
It's Brobdingnagius.
Oh, okay.
Let's
it's
try.
literally Brobdingnagius, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I thought it was Dick Nagius.
Oh, so did I.
It's when your bros nag.
Brobdingnagian?
First you
Close
add
enough.
bro.
Do you mean the one that means gigantic?
Yep.
Bro B ding nag ian.
Yep. Brobdingnagian.
Brobdingnagian. Yeah.
Like
What?
I say that there was when I was on a vacation with my family, that word became a bit of a joke because I think I don't remember if my dad used it or somebody came across it, but my dad was like, "Yeah, it's Brobdingnagian." Everybody's like, "What the fuck are you talking
You
about?"
English fucking teacher.
Huh.
My mother made a point of never pronouncing it correctly.
Fair.
It was so that's what word I think of whenever I think of just like a word you're like, who knows that? But I came across a word that was used well in context that I'd never recognized before, and I was like, oh, this is a writer.
Okay, let's go.
I see a man of culture.
And it's difficult to convey by just walking through the plot lines, because all the plot lines are fairly generic, right? He's on an island alone. He has to shut down this incursion, right? He does it by killing his way through a bunch of people,
As one does.
But the way that it's written, the way that the tension is ratcheted up, where it's like a surmountable conflict, but you don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to conclude. And then there's another thing about the characters that they have really high luck, right? Even in this universe, it's quantifiable. So a lot of stupid shit happens to this guy.
They have action, plot armor.
They have actually been plot armor. There's a moment, I can't remember if it's towards the end of the first book or the second book, where they have thrown this cauldron of poison into a fire. Right? They were about to complete the full demon incursion, right? They're on their last fucking legs. This is super spoilers, by the way. In case that wasn't clear. They're about to close this incursion. The guy who they're fighting, we don't think they're going to be able to make it. Right? They've given everything they could in the fight. The guy's coming up to kill him. Somebody comes up, stabs him from behind.
Of course.
Right?
Main character.
This is something
I think
that
stabs the boss.
Yeah.
Boss.
Oh, the boss.
monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, granted, I want to make it clear that this is something that they've been developing and telling us is probably going to happen this whole time, right? So it's not like this is swept out from underneath us or something that was completely unexpected. They didn't just like pull this moment away from the main character, but that person then like, but from the perspective of my character, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Of course.
That person then appears to kill themselves and then wake back up again. And then tells them to throw poison on the fire. And my character's like, I'm fucking basically dead anyways. Throws the poison on the fire. The poison explodes over the mountain. And they're like, what do I do now to this person that they just did it? And the person's like, good fucking luck, bro.
Okay.
And bounces.
Damn.
And so our main character runs and it books it. And there's this pond of magic water that they've seen earlier, right? And they're like, they got poison at their back. They got this pond in front of them. They jump it. And they start to explode.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. They start to fucking explode because it's a pond of magic water. Their body's getting overwhelmed by the magic in the water.
Of course.
And so they eat. Now, I'm just gonna pause after that. When they were fighting that person earlier, they were fighting to get access to like magic fruit.
Okay.
Right? They've gotten the magic fruit, so they eat the magic fruit in the water. Magic fruit's healing them. The pond's killing them.
It evens out.
It just evens itself out. It works
They
out.
basically, it's so painful to the point where they try to kill themselves. in
Really?
the pond. Yes, right, because their body is being destroyed by the magic water, and then rebuilt by the fruit.
Did he know the pond was going to do this, or did he just
did
kind
not.
of figure that out
He
after
did
the
not. He just wanted to get away from the poison, and then
Fair.
he started to die. And he's like,
Shit.
He's like, shit, I'm dying. What do I do? What do I do? I got the magic fruit. I guess I'll eat the magic fruit. And he eats the magic fruit, and it's just enough to get him to the other side of this situation. Right?
So he's okay. When you say other side, are you talking like
he sinks into the pond and wakes up at a subterranean area that this pond connects to.
Of course he does.
Well, I mean, we've established that the pond is connected to the subterranean area earlier.
Okay.
But which is another thing I really appreciate. But a lot of this stuff that when the random things have
when I say of course he does, it's more of it's a good thing that this person who's drowning in this pond also happened to float back up in the correct spot that they needed to float up in. Mm-hmm. Even though we just watched them sink to the bottom of said pond, they got back up to a shore on the other different side.
They should be dead.
Because the other thing I was going to say is he fought through the pain to get to a different area. That'd be one thing. Mm-hmm. But pass out from pain and just luckily wakes up in the right place.
Luckily wakes up in the right place. Yeah. Situations like that where it's he should be dead. Mm-hmm. He should be dead. So we get to wave away some of we get to kind of hand wave just a little bit of the circumstantial right. Normally somebody would be dead, but he's pretty fucking lucky.
Right.
Yo, yeah.
In the and where am I going to go with this? Sorry. Because there's a couple different ways I want to take this. Mm-hmm. One, there's this idea that in the universe that people that progress in power often encounter situations where they should have fucking died and they make it through.
Yeah.
Right? And that in order to become incredibly powerful, you're probably going to do that multiple times. Most people don't make it out of that other side.
Right.
But this is the main character of this story, and out of the trillions of people that might go through something similar to this, he's the one that's lucky enough that is actually makes it to the other side of all these experiences.
Of course.
It's kind of the idea, the principle. Also, the things that end up happening to him, it's not in System Universe, the guy sits in the void for whoever knows how long, and then he gets the most overpowered ability we've ever seen, right? Nobody can touch him because he's got his magic void powers and he walks over everything, right? In this story, it's a lot more weird random shit has been happening to him. He ends up coming out the other side. Sometimes he comes out the other side worse for wear, maybe a little bit, and then like figures shit out. Sometimes he comes out the other side and shit's worked out for him, and he gets something that is more powerful that he shouldn't necessarily have, but that's also kind of fucking weird.
You're right.
Because it's just like the random bullshit that's happened to him. Like one of the most overpowered things he gets is he gets the ability to have like 2 classes and like a second chance at life. The way this happens is somebody stabs him with something that's supposed to turn him into a zombie.
Of course.
And he manages to not have it turn him into a zombie. Instead, he like establishes an internal balance where he can swap between like zombie and not zombie.
And the zombie is now leveling up in his own class.
Yeah, basically.
Of course. Turn your light back on.
Oh shit. Which is, you know, if you're going to design your perfect OC character, that's not the power I would give him.
Right.
The power to become a fucking zombie. But it's also kind of makes sense with the situation that he was in, right? For a contrived power, I'll take it.
Right.
And they also make it very clear that he's a big fish in a little pond when it comes to like his powers and his capacity, right? Like I think by the end of book 3, I'm on book 3 right now, and we're at a point in book 3 where like basically on the planet Earth right now, there's not a lot that can really touch him, right? Because there are things that might be able to touch him if he wasn't progressing as fast as he is,
right?
But he's got his 2 classes. He's got everything from those 2 classes. He's done it, faster than most other people.
Of course.
And
that dripping is really distracting. I'm not even gonna lie. Fucking distracting. Most of the times I've stopped talking is because I've noticed that dripping, and it's like, he's got all this shit.
He's got all this shit.
He's got all this plot.
He's goated with this sauce.
The sauce.
The sauce. But it's not to the point where he's going to be able to solve everything that's coming. Right? Actually, that's not true. It's not. There are things on Earth that can definitely fucking stomp him to death. In fact, they've come very close to doing so. But they're leaving him alone because they have other uses for him right now.
Council of Old Man and Luffy.
Yeah.
And One Piece. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then there's Doom on the horizon,
Of course.
right? It's difficult to convey how the author's able to bring these things together where, as I'm saying them out of my mouth,
It sounds really dumb.
it sounds real dumb, right?
But it works.
But it works so well. It's such a fun read. It's such a good time. And as well as being like a tense and engaging read, it's difficult to convey just how much I've enjoyed reading this.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
And I if you gave me the synopsis, I would be like, I don't want to pick up that book.
Right.
But it's so good. It's so fucking good.
So you think, well, like this summary, do you think this is I want to say good enough? So, like, do you think this summary is reflective of like?
It's reflective of. I'll be honest. I picked it up originally because I read this. Right.
Oh, okay.
Because I like a story about Poe Dumby from buttfuck nowhere has to figure it the fuck out. Right. I don't like a chosen narrative. I like a become the chosen narrative. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where
you're not crowned it right away. You have to grow into the crown type thing.
Right.
Because if I had to pick out a specific flaw in a lot of these kinds of books, is that they have a really narrow scope in a conflict that would be much larger than, like, I think if the circumstances of what happens in this book actually happened, I think that I don't think it would be our main character that comes out on top, or as stratified from everything as he is, right? Because we have 8 billion people on this planet,
Right.
And within this book, I think the population's reduced to like 15% of or whatever,
of course,
right? But I just don't. I don't think that would happen. I don't think things would be that stratified, but for the purposes of the conflict, for the purposes of telling an engaging story with people that you can recognize and players that you can recognize and actually like comprehend, it is shrunk down. And like that's the main thing that I would pick at. But even then, I think that's in the service of telling a more engaging and entertaining story, right? And that point, honestly, was not really relevant to anything else I was talking about. I think I could probably just wrap this up by saying Defiance of the Fall, it kind of is what it has on the cover, but fuck is it good at it.
Fair.
Fuck is it
Fair
good
enough.
at it. And I would highly recommend, I would highly recommend it.
Hell yeah. That's Defiance of the Fall. Now, how many, it's 12 books out currently available on Audible. How many are you in? How many deep are you?
I am on the third.
Okay, so you're still relatively
I have an hour left on the third book.
nice.
I thought I had more left on that book.
Fair enough. So you're about a quarter through what's currently available.
You know, I've been wondering, like,
I think it's 14 actually. If I'm sure.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
well, I've been wondering about this for a minute for some of these, but like, how long is your typical book in Audible format?
Typically 20 to 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was really pissed when System Universe was 12.
Fair. 15 books, by the way.
Hell yeah.
15 book series for $101.
Honestly, that's
That's pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a little under $10 a book.
Yeah. About. I can't do that math in my head right now. Don't worry about
I
it.
think it's around that. It's like
Yeah.
it's like 9.5 or something like that. I don't.
Something like that.
Don't fucking quote me.
Hey, so about a day per book. If obviously that's assuming that you're listening to it for the full 24 hours in a single day.
I listened to it over about how long is sleep?
Yeah. I've gotten up to go to the bathroom and be like, is he awake or did he fall asleep without turning it off?
With this book specifically, I have to turn it off and watch something else to calm myself down.
The testosterone is rolling
I'm
through
so fucking hyped about what's going on the whole time.
Nice.
It keeps me up at night. But yeah.
Fair enough. That's a pretty glowing review. A male power fantasy that actually does its fucking genre justice. Can't be upset about that. Can't wait to hear more about it either.
Yeah.
See kind of how far we get. Awesome. Well, I think that's it for us tonight. Probably gonna wrap it up with that. Oh man, Defiance of the Fall, fantastic. Runebound Professor, fantastic. Pokemon Legends ZA, probably gonna be pretty good. Could be better, but it's probably gonna be pretty fucking good. Shrek 5,
We'll have to see about that one.
Juicy.
we'll see how that one goes.
I really want it to be like genuinely good.
Same.
And then I want to make a bunch of memes about it. That's just what I want.
And then the last thing to react to, since we wrapped it back to the movie, just quick reaction in the Discord.
I gotta type shit.
Apparently that's a
There's no fucking way that's real.
I refuse to believe it. This shit feels straight out of Aquatina. Aquatina ain't no kid asking for a middle-aged fat fuck action figure.
This can't. Look at that.
A Minecraft movie figure / plush up for order on Amazon.
That's got to be knockoff.
Not crazy about that comment.
Look,
Actually,
I think this is knockoff. I don't think this is
like the sword would be the Minecraft sword, not
whatever
just-
that is.
pixels.
that's a movie accurate.
That's what it looks like in the movie.
That's what it looks like in the movie, dog.
Okay.
Why?
Have you not seen the?
I guess we haven't broken down the trailer that
I remember
well.
seeing a sword get shown. I don't remember it looking like that.
I hope not. God.
Oh, it is. Oh no.
Oh, that shit might be official. Can we click on? Thank you. Oh shit.
It's like they upped the res on it.
Yeah.
This is gonna be even worse than we thought, isn't it?
Well, luckily I wasn't planning on giving money to it anyway, so
That is not the merch they picked.
I really hope it's not. Oh, I really fucking hope it's not. Or maybe we should.
Jack Black can have an action figure, but it can't have an action figure as Steve. That's not
No.
my Steve.
That's just Jack Black with his sword.
That's why it's so fucking funny. It's like, what the hell is
Jack
going on?
Black in a blue shirt with a sword. Is that real?
I'm gonna need you to zoom in on the face if possible.
This is on Mattel's website.
It's on Mattel's website.
This is real, motherfuckers.
What's in his facial expression?
Oh, there's the image.
There's the
There's
picture.
the fucking picture.
Oh, this
He's
is
so
Mattel.
smug.
This is Mattel's shop website. This is real.
What out of touch? What the?
That's the thing. That's not that out of touch. A 12-inch collectible action figure based off of a popular movie franchise is probably a good thing.
I just want to know why they have the child playing with it.
What is that?
A popular movie franchise?
What?
Oh god.
The pants make me so uncomfortable.
It
Pants
gets
are really
oh
uncomfortable.
my
I don't
God.
like it.
They're so tight, and there's built-in
Articulation.
bruh, and the wolf just looks so different next to him, bruh.
What are you doing? What is this abomination? This is like a fever dream.
Yeah.
This is.
What
What happened to my poor beloved Minecraft?
Right? Like, if you. I wish we could talk to us that reacted to the initial Minecraft movie news last year. Because, like, God, how
We were so excited.
We were so excited. It was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to
What's the over there is crazy.
Oh, thanks for showing us.
Yeah.
how it can-
Yeah, I would have.
How you can lose the helmet.
oh my gosh.
Helmet detachable helmet. That helmet's going to evaporate so quickly.
I can't.
Let's say shitty movie details. A Minecraft movie inspired a new generation of children to drop their phones and play with action figures again. Well, that's certainly a thing going on. So, I guess that's it for us tonight. Shit. Thanks for bringing down the
that
fucking episode
depressing
right at
note.
the end.
I mean, I didn't
Look.
know that there was a whole like a shit ton of new ones. I just saw that one. I was like,
Motherfucker, that first one was enough.
Look. Don't let the depression get to you.
Right.
I know it seems real fucking bad out here. But just remember,
Like, comment, and
GTA
subscribe.
6.
Has not come out
It's
yet.
not
There's so
come
many
out
more
yet.
things we could get before
Yeah,
GTA
so
6.
Just pray that they don't put high poly Jack Black in Minecraft.
they probably will. As a skin, I'm
During the
sure.
launch of the movie, they probably will. They will
I'm
probably just
sure.
straight up change. If you have a default Steve skin, it will just change to be Jack Black.
Yeah.
Like smoothed.
Like
Yes.
full
Completely,
smooth
like-
3D animated in. Like they're gonna take the action figure, like design model files,
For
and just
photogram material.
just put them into Minecraft
Because they can.
because they fucking can.
If you don't want the Minecraft movie to come out, like, comment, subscribe.
If
Like
you don't
how-
want the Minecraft movie to come out, don't go and see it.
I mean, it's kind of hard to not go and see it if it's already out because not much you can do about it at that point.
Don't go and see it. Make sure they lose money on it.
Yeah.
Complain so much
If you
that
wanna
they
make
take
sure
it
they
out
don't
of the
do it
theaters.
again, don't go and see it. But if you
then
do
they're just gonna
go
be
and
like,
see
we can't do video game movies. Video game movies don't work.
it, and then they'll do that. Except we. Scheisse. Like, comment, and subscribe.
5 stars.
Follow us on Patreon. It's a fucking $1. Fuck this bullshit.
Thanks, Mike. Love you,
Thank you, Mike. We love you, buddy. Original old god. Have a good night.
Peace.
This is your fault, you bitch.
I didn't think you'd have that reaction.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
I'm gonna get a kitchen knife and finish this bitch.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Happy Wednesday.
It's fantastic.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go party.